The little guy woke up when he saw Yunwu. He opened his mouth and showed his two delicate tusks. Then he closed his eyes. Wow! With a howl, the spirit power of the little guy disappeared instantly, and the little thing fell to the ground with a bang. Cloud dance in the heart of a tight fight to turn over a body. Want to see the little guy how, but happened to let her laugh and cry scene. As soon as she turned over, she pressed the little guy under her body. The little guy's body was flat, only one head was exposed outside, but she wanted to move, but she couldn't move anymore. Suddenly, Yunwu saw the two intertwined figures outside the wind element flash by. Although she only caught a moment, she clearly saw the blood on Long Qingxia's white robe. He was seriously injured. Cloud dance heart tight, tried to use strength, but led to the body more tearing pain, sweat suddenly like rain. Hang Mao to see. The body all around already shed to open a layer of dry split skin. The appearance is extremely disgusting. She can feel the Warcraft Yuan Dan constantly tossing in her body, tossing her bone meridians all broken, in addition to consciousness, just like a living dead man. Bang! A loud vibration came out of the water element. Cloud dance raises an eye to see. In water element Minnie gave a few inhong. And outside the water element space, the white figure slowly fell down. Although he was strong, she could feel that he was exhausted. Cloud dance forces strength, but in exchange for the pain of bone erosion. Although she couldn't move, the pain didn't decrease at all. She looked at the dragon outside the water element. Her eyes were scarlet, and countless blood threads were carried out in her eyes. The blood-red eyes in that pale face appears extremely abrupt, ferocious. Do you want to toss? If you have the ability, toss me to death. Roaring down, she once again aroused the power of anger in her heart. The pain of cutting the knife into the bone almost made her faint again. Her scarlet eyes were eager to spill blood, and the corners of her mouth kept twitching, but she was still stubborn. Water element space. Boy, get out of there and save your life. Although Huang Qifeng is talking to the dragon, his eyes have been staring at the cloud dance in the element of wind. The calm eyes look at the changes around the cloud dance, and they are a little flustered. My woman is behind me. Do you want me to get out of the way? Dragon Qing evil mouth constantly gushing blood, but still with the evil spirit of blood, thirsty smile. Golden eyes looking at Huang Qifeng, evil and cold. No way, only death. To put it simply, it's just a life, but I'm afraid you can't take it away with you. Suddenly, relying on the strength of the sword in his hand, he stood up. Although his figure was a little shaky, he was still proud, upright and calm. It was a figure that people could trust and let the woman behind him rely on. Although the figure was extremely embarrassed at the moment, the evil and arrogant light that belonged to him did not diminish. Huang Qifeng looked at the dragon standing up and said, "Look for death." A strange breath came in the air. Long Qingxia can hide, but behind him is his woman, he can't. The dark haze is lifted up in an instant, and a trace of evil light emerges in the scarlet smile eyes. The endless haze is like a bottomless hole, swallowing the breath in an instant. Countless black blades fight back in an instant. Huang Qifeng waved his hand across the air. He thought he could resist the attack of the black blade, but he didn't stop the speed of the black blade. Pa! The sound of white armor breaking. Along with the traces of white armor cracking, a touch of bright red liquid spilled out, flowing more and more ferocious. Huang Qifeng looks at the broken armor with dark eyes. He can hurt him. His armor was not stained with any blood when he exterminated the wizard clan of Guangming family. Now he broke it. The strength of the blow just now has definitely exceeded his own strength. Who on earth are you? Huang Qifeng stares at Long Qingxia, and his eyes just show a sense of obliteration. He smelled a familiar feeling in his strength just now. What was that feeling? Huang Qifeng frowned slightly, thinking, "Her man, that's all." In the dark haze, the smile is like mandala blooming in the night. "No, you are a member of the evil family." Huang Qifeng looked at the dragon's evil eyes and was surprised. He is a member of the evil family. There are still living people in the evil family. The dragon tilts evil to cover an eye ground of a silk abnormality, then bloodthirsty smile. Is again how? Are you the young master of the evil clan that the Five-Star Society has been pursuing? The only evil people who can get freedom alive is the one who escaped by chance. You know a lot, it seems. The sword of Dragon Qingxie is in hand. The smile in the corner of the mouth is more and more dangerous, and a touch of Su Sha appears at the bottom of the eye. Seems to be telling him that he should die. A witch Hui, a descendant of an evil family, seems to be really lucky today. Huang Qifeng's plain eyes pass by a trace of abnormality, and a smile appears in the corner of his mouth, but it makes people feel a little bitter. He knew very well in his heart that if they were the descendants of the evil clan and the witch clan, with their current strength, he would not be an opponent at all. The épée swings in the air, with infinite dark breath. Two figures entangle together again. Water element space. After a period of silence, the figure lying on the ground in a mess finally had a trace of movement. Her body is surrounded by her skin, but her own skin is as smooth as a newborn baby, revealing a touch of holy smoothness. At the moment when she opened her eyes, the amazing light flashed away. It was a pair of purple eyes, which were darker than before. She stood up, 3,000 green silk swaying against the wind elements. The pale to bloodless face, at this time showed a color like frost. And the breath around her was the combination of light and darkness. White light with dark breath constantly moving around her. As if death came, the suffocation feeling of oppressing death became more and more obvious. Bang! The water element is broken by a strong force. Long Qingxia's golden eyes narrowed slightly, and a smile rose from the corner of his mouth. Is it okay at last? The next second, his body was pulled back by a strange force and landed on the stone wall. Cloud Dance looked at the dragon's blood-filled shabby white robe, and that pale face, the killing breath on his body was more dignified. You rest. I'll take it. Dragon Qingxia looks at the breath on Cloud Dance's body. Gold Mao Tiny Zheng a moment. The power of this little thing is getting deeper and deeper. Cloud Dance's cold eyes swept to Huang Qifeng, word by word. Did you hurt him with my consent? How can you have such a strange dark power? Huang Qifeng looked at the Cloud Dance like death, and his calm eyes were shocked. He didn't realize it. At the moment he was surprised and stuttered. Uncle, I've wanted to kill you for a long time. The cold voice is like the ice of 1,000 years, but with a strange smile. It is even more spooky. No. Huang Qifeng's pupils widened, and his voice began to shout in horror. Unfortunately, the voice just started in an instant. The whole underground was covered by the dark atmosphere, and the white armor was finally engulfed in the dark atmosphere and turned into ashes. The whole underground floor, instant miasma. Although the power is not enough to destroy the underground refining stone, it is enough to reach the first level. The top floor of the secret base. Lord, there's a big noise at the bottom. Send someone over at once. We can't let go of any of them. Sheng Guanli gave a low roar. He clearly felt the power of the loud noise just now. If it wasn't blocked by the refining stone, it would be enough to destroy the whole secret base. He had a premonition that it was absolutely inseparable from the witch saint. Actually let her sneak into the lowest level, but there are countless levels from the lowest level. Each level is guarded so that she can get in. Waste. It's not your trash, it's you. The voice of indifference and coldness rang from behind Sheng Guanli. Sheng Guanli suddenly turned back, looking at the Cloud Dance. The eyes were cold, but the fundus of his eyes was a little surprised. Unexpectedly, she came up so soon. Did she solve all the people at the checkpoint? Suzerain, all the people guarding the underground gate died in the passage. A flustered figure ran in. After seeing the Cloud Dance, he was shocked and couldn't say anything more. People big or small, all know Cloud Dance after this period of time. Sheng Guanli smell speech, look instant fierce, looking directly at the Cloud Dance. Kill meaning Rubran. You killed them? Cloud Dance mouth slightly yawn, pull open a touch of irony smile. And me. Magnetic low voice came in, no one heard it first. Sheng Guanli looks at the dragon, and his eyes are burning with anger. Only two people turned the base upside down. The base was guarded by the elites of the Beast Gate. How could they kill them? What is the strength of these two people? What about Huang Qifeng? You killed him too? Sheng Guanli's thick eyebrows were picked, and a strange smile suddenly appeared at the corner of his mouth. The Cloud dances the corner of the mouth to emerge to put on a cold smile. Killed. Ha ha ha. Sheng Guanli looks up at the sky and smiles ironically. Do you know who he is? You may not know what I know. Cloud Dance sneers and takes a look at the dragon nearby. A trace of warmth appears in the cold light at the bottom of the eye. Shangguanli's calm eyes swept a strange color. He is your uncle, you also kill him? He looked at Yunwu and seemed to be waiting for Yunwu's expression of surprise and repentance. But what he was waiting for was Yunwu's cold smile. You know? Shangguan calendar Maucolora surprised. They have already met? That's why you don't know what I know. Cloud Dance cold ah. All around kill idea to wind up. Just a nominal uncle. Do you know that? Shangguanli's calm eyes were slightly surprised, but changed several colors, and a touch of scarlet and angry blood loomed. Huang Qifeng, you lied to me. Cloud danced with a sneer, and looked at Shangguanli sarcastically. I didn't expect that the deputy leader of the Beast Gate had been played as a monkey for more than 10 years. It's sad. Shangguanli smells speech, face brush a dark. He's dead, and you'll pay what you owe me. Cloud dance Maucolora cold. This words listen how a little familiar? All around. The breath of darkness and light converged, and the two sharp edges constantly hung around the clouds, extremely fierce. Don't associate me with him. Bang. The whole secret base was submerged in the roar of power. This blow was enough to shock the whole secret base. Everyone in the secret base knew that something big had happened, and they all heard of it, including a man in a silver robe. Yunwu looks at the people gathered around, and everyone's eyes are on her. Cloud dance? Some greedy, some surprised, some disdain, but to be sure, they all know her. Cloud dance indifferently swept all around one eye. Lifted mouth to see one eye dragon to pour evil, lip cape tiny hook. They have words on the face. Dragon Qing evil slightly pale mouth wantonly hook up, agreed to nod. Seems to be written to seek death 2 words. Hearing the words, people's faces changed. In a moment, Yunwu felt that the killing intention around her was like a blade. If the killing intention could kill people, it was estimated that she would not live this time. The cloud dances to smile of glance a dragon to pour evil. Those who know her are the opposite. All of a sudden, the smile on the corner of her mouth condenses, and the tenderness in her purple eyes is replaced by indifference. The bloodthirsty glances at the people. When the people's eyes still stay on the smile on the corner of her mouth, it turns black. The continuous scream went up and down again. After the darkness dispersed, the people were already curled up in pain on the ground, with wounds on their bodies, big and small, and blood on the ground, which was extremely ferocious. Shangguanli looks at this shape, and his eyes are dark. The lowest martial arts skills of those people are also above Wuzun. So many people are more than enough to deal with her, but the speed at that moment was so fast that he could not make a move. What a weird speed. Shangguanli looks at Yunwu with dark eyes. He knows that if she continues to stay in Yunwu, she will be the biggest obstacle on the way of Wanwoman. If this person doesn't get rid of now, she will get rid of him in the future. Cloud Dance looked at Shangguanli's killing intention in her eyes. Her purple eyes drooped slightly, and her lips sneered. Not yet. Are you really going to let us fight? At the end of the speech, the man who was wearing a silver robe and a hat just had a slight stiffness on his back. Then he pulled off the hat and raised an uninhibited smile. Xiao Wu, you are so heartless. Cloud Dance coldly glanced at Shangguanli and said indifferently, It's time for you father and son to have a good talk. If we have a good talk, maybe we won't have to be so violent. Everyone. After killing people, how dare you talk about not being so violent? Why isn't this woman shameless? However, she just said father and son. Is that a young master? The dragon tilts evil half to hang Mao Sun. The eye bottom passes a silk helpless. This small thing, really enough irritating. Shangguan, don't forget who you are. Shangguan Li's eyes were full of warning. Shangguan Jun's eyes narrowed slightly. After thinking for a while, he threw away his hat and walked to the clouds. He looked up at Shangguanli and said, I grew up in the Beast Gate. I don't deny that. But what the Beast Gate is trying to do is different from what I'm trying to do. The so-called Tao is different. Let me go, father. Be presumptuous. You are the only blood in the upper official family. You will never leave the upper official family in your life. Hearing Shangguanli's words, The cloud dances and the willow eyebrows are slightly picked, and the fundus of the eye passes by with a touch of surprise. Is Shangguan the only blood of Shangguan family? So the patriarch of the beast sect has no offspring? She chuckles with a trace of helplessness in her smile. It seems that Shangguan wants to break away from the beast gate, unless the beast gate is destroyed, otherwise over my dead body. If you insist that I run counter to your will, the officials will never have blood again. Shangguan mouth slightly hook, pull open a natural and unrestrained smile. He was relieved, but Shangguanli was angry. Are you threatening me? Shangguan's eyes were cold, his eyes narrowed into a seam, and he was staring at Shangguan. What he didn't like most in his life was being threatened. This time he was threatened by his own son. It seems that you are not talking very well. Without waiting for Shangguan to speak, Yunwu took the lead. It's unfilial for Shangguan to fight against Shangguanli. Although she thinks it's better to be angry with this old man, she doesn't want to make her friends who can entrust her life miserable. So this matter still needs her to solve to be perfect. No matter what the charges are, she will carry them. Shangguanli angrily stares at the clouds, and the black breath hovers in his palm. Looking at Shangguan coldly, he said coldly, "If you don't agree, I'll kill one. If you don't agree, I'll kill two. I'll let you watch these so-called friends leave you one by one, until finally you willingly agree to go back to the beast gate." Cloud dance cold humme, all around of breath sharp edge rotate. Use this kind of means to deal with own son, really abnormal. Bang. With the splash of absolute power, the whole interior of the base was flattened in an instant, debris flying, dust long, dumping around the sound of a mess roar. The next second, three-wipe figure instant swept out, toward the channel instant no trace. That speed is definitely not what one can have. Shangguanli looked at the disappearing figure, but he didn't even chase it, because he could feel the abnormal speed, even if it was useless to chase it. What can be so fast? Looking at the ruined base, Shangguan's eyes are dim. Now she can do whatever she wants under his eyes when her wings are not full. If she awakens her last strength, then pass on my order, everyone will trace the whereabouts of the three people. 3 days later, I want their specific locations. If they can't be found, they will all pay homage to Warcraft. Yes, after the mess, they took orders to leave. Shangguanli was the only one left in the cave. The dark and cool cave was a little darker because of his existence. He looked down and thought for a long time, turned and walked in the other direction of the passage. A girl destroyed a base. It's such a big deal. It's time to let elder brother make up his mind. Kill that girl, it's urgent. Under the guidance of the little guy, Yunwu 3 quickly escaped from the cave. Looking at the little guy whose body was slightly swollen in her hands, a smile appeared in her eyes. This little guy's body is so small, but he has the power of adult Warcraft. He can lift the 3 of them without any effort. Although the wings on the body are very small, the speed of flight is not very fast. If it can grow to the size of Jinling, it will be comfortable to sleep. In other words, if it wasn't for the little guy's help, it would be really difficult to figure out this cave this time. Yuan Dan of Warcraft helped her to be reborn once again. After being baptized again, her power could be better used than before. Although the process is unbearable, the result is very optimistic. However, why does this little guy want to give her Yuan Dan of his mother? And let her swallow it. I want to ask, but obviously I can't ask from this little guy. Xiao Wu, I haven't seen you for a few days. How come your demons have greatly increased? Shangguan squinted at Yunwu and couldn't let go of the dark breath she had just sent out. If he hadn't known her for a long time, he might have directly classified her as a forbidden area. But the dark breath is not too terrible. The terrible thing is that the dark breath and the light breath are constantly merging. What's more, her pale face looks like a fierce ghost. In addition, the voice of the ghost is like a frosted voice, which makes the voice and breath of the ghost show incisively and vividly. It's creeping. Cloud Dance picked eyebrow to light to glance at him. How do you feel? Would you like to have a try? Shangguan mouth a twitch, looking at Cloud Dance cold eyes, just did not hold out a word. Cloud Dance makes a look at Dragon's Evil. Dragon's Evil turns around and follows Cloud Dance away. Shangguan finally took a look at the stone cave. The fundus of his eyes was complex, and he also kept up with them. His complicated eyes, Yunwu and Long Qingxi have noticed, which is also the reason why Yunwu is anxious to leave. After all, it's the father who gave birth to him and raised him. Even if he shows indifference, she knows his inner struggle and pain. After they left the cave, they galloped all the way to the inn, where they met Nangongyi and Qi Yi's. After seeing the moment of cloud dancing, Nangongyi finally relaxed under the white yarn. Although he didn't have the strength of his father, he predicted that Yunwu would have a doomsday yesterday, and it was still a catastrophe. Although he knew it, he could do nothing to stop it. He only hoped that she would come back from her suffering as soon as possible. Now when he saw her coming back, a stone was finally put down. Do you know how to come back? Qi Night Cold swept Cloud Dance and Dragon to Poor Evil One Eye. They are very anxious to wait here. They are quite relaxed now. Somehow, she always feels that Yunwu's skin is more delicate. Did she meet some good medicine for rejuvenation? Hello Ice Beauty. My name is Shengguan. When Shengguan saw Qi Yi's, he looked a little strange. Maybe he also thought that Qi Yi's and Yunwu had some similar characteristics. Qi Yi's just glanced at Shengguan and left without answering. Shengguan looked at Qi's figure leaving in the night, and his mouth suddenly drew. Suddenly he put his eyes on Nangongyi. He was surprised. Are you here too? Nangongyi nodded slightly, raised his eyes and looked at Yunwu. Has everything been done? All right. Cloud Dance slightly jawhead. The next second, standing beside her, Long Qingxia suddenly walked out of the window. There was a change in the look of her golden eyes. Her thin lips were shallow. Little thing, trouble is coming. Cloud Dance micropick eyebrows, went to the window to see, who is not the beast door. It seems that the people of the Beast Gate have found her whereabouts. She's coming so fast. Separate, you three leave together, we two leave together. Cloud Dance took a look at Shengguan and Nangongyi Dao. Nangongyi nods and turns to leave. Shengguan naturally has no opinion. 5 people leave the inn in an instant. On the forest path in the suburb, 2 figures are coming at the same time. Catkins floating, wildflowers blooming, water gurgling, is a pleasant scene. You two escaped so fast. Suddenly, a clear voice came out in the woods. They stopped and looked at the figure. It was a woman in brown. Women laugh nightmarish, but extremely cold. Yunwu looks at Jinyu, who is coming from the opposite side. She glances at the dragon and says coldly, I'll solve the problems I've caused myself. Then he found a comfortable position and sat down. His lazy posture seemed to be to have a rest. Dragon Qingxia looks at the clouds, thin lips appear a faint smile, and then looks at Jinyu. Golden eyes slightly sink. The people of the Beast Gate are behind you. If you want to leave, follow me. Jinyu said that he would pick the eyebrows and ask him what he meant. Dragon Qing evil shallow smile. Girl, please respect yourself. It seems that they are resting all the time, but in fact they pay attention to the cloud dance of the 2 people's movements. They almost spray when they listen to the words of Dao Long Qingxia. Girl, please respect yourself? Can that guy say something so elegant? Yunwu's slender figure trembles fiercely. How can you feel goosebumps fall all over the ground? Whatever you want to find, Songyin Castle can help you, even against the Beast Gate. As long as you follow me, you can say anything. Is that so? Dragon Qing evil slightly jawhead. Seems to be considering. Looking back, some tangled looked at the cloud, evil way. I'm not used to have 2 women at the same time. Then Yunwu felt the look in her eyes. The cloud dances to rub of open eyes. The Mao color sullen direct at the Long Qingxia. Looking at the Long Qingxia is a face not good intention of coagulate her. Her heart is more angry. This shameless black-hearted guy. Then I'll kill her for you. Then came a gust of wind. The cloud dances, the corners of the mouth are cold, the ground is cold, and the wind is strong. Bang. See, cloud dance just leaning on the tree, was hit by a force made a hole. Cloud Dance eyes a cold, body shape and no hesitation. In a moment, the 2 have become entangled. Long Qingxia walked by calmly, sat under the tree where the clouds were dancing, and his thin lips looked at the 2 shadows, showing a smile of satisfaction. The impact of speed and power soon separated the 2. Jin Yu's breath was unsteady, and her palms were bleeding. She looked at the cold clouds on the opposite side, and her eyes were slightly tight. Only a few days no see, her strength actually improved again. It's hard for others to improve their strength. Why is it so easy for this woman to improve her strength? Think about now, her strength reached the middle stage of Wuzong a year ago, and still hasn't entered the late stage. Just met this woman. Her strength is Wuzuan, just half a year. Her strength is far more than her. She is not human after all. That won't work, Miss Jean? There is a little irony between the words. Jin Yu's face changed slightly and her breath was uneven. She said, "Don't be too proud. The people of the beast sect will arrive soon." The cloud dances, the corners of the mouth are slightly raised, and the breath of the beast men behind is clear and audible. Long Qingxia, how much can this woman be worth? Cloud Dance looks back and smiles at the dragon. Long Qingxia's sword eyebrows wrinkled. This little thing. The next second, the smell of vegetation rises. Jin Yu's speech in the hands of the whip did not wave, was tied by a vine. What do you want to do? Jin Yu angrily denounces her for using her strength to break free. But she finds that the more she breaks free, the tighter she is. Moreover, the rattan is still absorbing her strength. Take you home to find Dad. The cloud dances, the lip corner blooms out an evil smile. Songyun Castle is a good place to rest. Although I know this young lady will be restless, at least there is the infatuated man to protect her. If she guessed correctly that day, in a few days it will be Miss Jin's martial arts contest. It will be very lively then. After thinking about it, the cloud dancing star's eyes skimmed a trace of cold light, and the radiance of the corner of the mouth became deeper and deeper. Songyun Castle. In the courtyard, the abrupt figure of Sanmo came quietly, which frightened the guards guarding the courtyard. Who are you two? The guard looked at the bound Jinyu, and his eyes were full of surprise. With Jinyu's strength, the person who can bind her must not be underestimated. Tell your master that the First Lady is back. Let him come out to meet you. Cloud Dance will Jinyu's speech placed on the stone bench not far away. Looking at the man said. The guard was stunned for a while. He looked dull in his eyes. The next second, his figure swept away and disappeared in the same place. Cloud Dance picks eyebrows. It seems that the guard is a capable person. In the quiet room, a figure is sitting in the room drinking tea. The man is holding a teacup, and there is a light sadness between his pretty eyebrows. Master, Miss has been kidnapped. Jin Kong Yenwen's speech. Tea action stopped for a moment. People? In the pavilion. The guard looked at Jin Kongyan and lowered his head. Jin Kongyan is always calm and sad. No one can really understand his mind, let alone the guards. Jin Kongyanwen's speech, the action in the hands of recovery, the cup of tea and a drink, put on the table. Take me. Now that everyone has come back, his daughter's life is in no danger. It's easy to discuss everything. Jin Kong came all the way. When he saw the clouds dancing in the pavilion, he was obviously surprised. Then there was a faint smile. It seemed that the heart that I had just mentioned had been calmed down. It was her. Then he took a look at the bound Jin Yuan, frowned slightly, and looked at Yunwu in a twinkling of an eye. If there is anything that offends you, please forgive me. Dad, she tied me up. Do you want her to forgive me? Jinyu thought she had heard something wrong from Jin Kanjian. Shut up. Jin Kongyan stares at Jinyu. Although she only met Yunwu once, she also learned a lot about her from King Yufeng. She is not a person who will take the initiative to provoke others. Jinyu words want to say what, touched Jin Kanjian anger just didn't say out. Can only be angry waiting for cloud dance. The bottom of the eye is full of ferocity. The cloud dances to pass that overcast and ruthless vision, smile away. Just come at first, borrow here a few days. Don't know convenient? Of course. Jin Kongyan nodded, slightly softened the corners of her mouth. In a few days, it will be the day of the little girl's martial arts contest. I'm glad you can join me. Untie the young lady. Then he looked at Yunwu and said, follow me. Cloud danced tiny jawhead. Dark glanced at Jinyu's speech. The corner of the mouth raised a touch of provocative smile. You. Jinyu said that her eyes were burning with anger, but she had nothing to do with Yunwu. The next second, The anger is a little distorted and gradually turns into a smile. Enjoy these days. The day of martial arts competition is the time when you will never be free. That sun-cold eyes, naked stay in the cloud behind. Yunwu felt it, and Long Qingxi also felt it. They looked at each other, and the corners of their mouths also stirred up a smile. She will definitely tell the Beast Gate their whereabouts. Since she can't find 5 elements to enter the Beast Gate at one time, she can only let the Beast Gate come to find her. Due to the position of Tsangyan Castle, the Beast Gate will not act rashly. She just wants to be robbed by the Beast Gate, not solve it on the spot. 3 days later. Today, Tsangyan Castle is very busy. Many people come from all walks of life, some for martial arts competitions, some for congratulations, and some for fishing in troubled waters. Today, both Yunwu and Long Qingxi are disguised and put on human skin masks. One is to be unobtrusive, and the other is to observe whether the minions of the Beast Gate have come. At this time, there are a lot of people around the competition arena. The rich child of Qingyong City and the famous swordsman in the river and lake are basically here. Yunwu, dressed in a man's suit, sits on a table in a remote place, seemingly lazily drinking tea wantonly, but in fact he is observing everyone. The dragon Qingxia, who was sitting opposite her, was looking at the cloud dance tenderly and sighed. Little thing, if you are a man, a woman will miss her whole life. Cloud dance white he one eye, looking at his eyes doting cold way. Child, to a man show this kind of eyes, don't you think strange? She doesn't want to be noticed for that. I don't care for my husband. Dragon Qing evil is still a pair of pleasing looking at her. The tenderness in the eyes does not hide. At this moment, the people who are a few steps away from them have cast disgusting eyes on them after hearing the word for husband. The willow eyebrows are slightly wrinkled, and there is some helplessness between the eyebrows. However, when she took back her eyes, a familiar figure appeared in her mind. Looking at the crowd again, the figure was still there. Why do you feel familiar? Yunwu frowned slightly, searching for the master of the figure in her mind. Suddenly, her eyes were lifted and her eyes changed slightly. Zhou Feiyu? The man was wearing a silver robe, and his back was arrogant and awe-inspiring. It was not who Zhou Feiyu was. He's in the upper bound too? Has the seizure of power by the Zhou dynasty been settled? Zhou Feiyu felt that there was a look at him behind him. His sharp eyes narrowed and looked back. That look had moved away. He scanned the place where his eyes appeared, and finally locked his eyes on Yunwu. At the moment, Yunwu glanced at him, and the 4 eyes were opposite. Zhou Feiyu's body was shocked. Is that her? Just as he looked at the cloud dance, the evil figure of dragon appeared in his sight. At the moment, Long Qingxia is still looking at the cloud dance with an infatuated look on his face, and his mouth is smiling with evil spirits, without paying any attention to Zhou Feiyu's gaze. Zhou Feiyu's face was tight. At that moment, he affirmed that the man was Yunwu. I'm afraid there won't be a second person except Yunwu who can make Long Qingxi have such an expression. Well. Dragon Qingxia suddenly groaned in pain. At the moment of his pain, he found the distant gaze. Some dissatisfied looked at Cloud Dance, she even pinched him. However, Long Qingxia raised his eyes and looked at the man. After seeing Zhou Feiyu, the corner of Long Qingxia's mouth raised a smile. It seems that all who should have come have come. Cloud Dance glances at him. Don't you worry that Long Shiguo will be swallowed by him? I'm afraid the Zhou dynasty didn't have the ability to swallow the kingdom of Longshu and the kingdom of Un at the same time. Dragon Qing evil sword eyebrow slightly pick. Toward Cloud Dance cast a flattering eye. Little thing, do you think I should take the Zhou dynasty as my husband? Dragon Qing Xia made a neck-wiping move towards Cloud Dance. Although Yunwu didn't say anything more, he scolded the black-bellied guy in his heart. The Zhou dynasty was weak. Without Zhou Feiyu, it would be more useless. If Situlan used the power of Longshu Kingdom, and in Kingdom to deal with the Zhou dynasty, it would be more than enough. Her elite troops and killer corps are also in the lower boundary. They will certainly follow the command of Long Shugua and participate in it. It will be difficult for the Zhou dynasty to perish at that time, of course. The situation in the lower bound doesn't make much difference to her. She only hopes that the Cloud family will be safe. In her meditation moment, Zhou Feiyu has already sat on their table. Long time no see. Zhou Feiyu looks at the cloud dance, and a trace of joy passes through his sharp eyes. Cloud Dance's tiny jaw head glanced at him one eye. How did you also come? Can't I come if you can? Zhou Feiyu eyebrows a pick, seems to Cloud Dance this problem some helpless. I mean, she said, it's too expensive for you to come to the upper bound. Don't wait for Cloud Dance to finish saying. Long Qingxia interrupted her words, toward her smile not smile of hook-up corners of mouth. If a choice has to be made between the two, I'll choose here. Zhou Feiyu looked at the Cloud Dance very seriously. Cloud Dance is just a cold smile, no answer. He must have made some preparations to come to Shangjia. He knew that Situlan was not bound and didn't like fighting. As long as the Zhou dynasty didn't pick things up, he would not destroy the Zhou dynasty. At the moment, the competition on the challenge arena has already started. Jinyu said that while facing the man. He looked at Yunwu from time to time. I don't know why, Yunwu always feels that her eyes are a little strange, and her heart is a little uneasy. Time passed quickly, and the men who came to the stage one after another were beaten down by Jinyu. It was not until Qin Yufeng came to power that the two men were deadlocked for a long time. Hurry down and don't disturb my plan. Jinyu says that King Yufeng shouts anxiously. Qin Yufeng shook his head helplessly. You dare not refute master's words, do I dare? Jin Yuyan Dai made a wrinkle, looked at the stage Jin Kongyan. Don't understand why he want to let Clear Jade wind up. In 3 moves you step down. Jin Yu made a glance at Qin Yufeng. Aunt, do you want the master to kill me? Qin Yufeng calls miserably. She beats her down in 3 moves. Everyone looks strange. Just do me a favor. After that, if you are still alive, I'll treat you to drunk chicken. Jin Yu's mouth was raised and his eyes blinked at Qin Yufeng. Qin Yufeng sighs helplessly. Is his life worth a chicken's money? After the 3 moves, Qin Yu is fast landing. Cloud Dance looking at so obvious cheating. And then look at Jin Kongyan's slightly angry eyes, cold hum. This big lady is the rhythm of death. When the audience saw this scene, everyone saw that King Yufeng had lost intentionally, but most of them were still proud. If King Yufeng won, they would have no chance. Next, the dragon pours evil. Smell speech, Cloud Dance eyes a lung, and Dragon Qingxia drink tea action micro a pause. Cloud Dance cold glance at a stage of Jin Yu words. This woman gored him by what medicine? How can the name of Dragon Qingxia be on it? People are constantly patrolling, waiting for the man named Long Qingxia to come on stage. And Jin Kongyan looks at Long Qingxia. Li Mao is more and more dark, obviously is annoyed by Jin Yu's speech this action. No wonder a few days ago that girl would take the initiative to discuss with him, and want to hold a martial arts competition. It was for the present Wulong. Jin Kongyan's palm is slightly clenched, looking at Jin Yu's words, her eyes are more fierce. Before Yunwu came to Shangjia, he knew about Longqingxi and Yunwu, but he didn't expect that the girl held a martial arts contest for Longqingxi. This wench, does she think that the man of that dragon Qingxia is really so easy to grasp in the hand? Not to mention, there is the Cloud Girl. She is really playing with fire. Dragon Qing Evil looked at Cloud Dance one eye, toward her pick eyebrow. Seemed to be escape. Deal with what you cause. Cloud Dance is not good. Long Qingxia stands up and smiles at the cloud. People like this should clean up in time when they meet them. When Zhou Feiyu heard the speech, his sharp eyes narrowed slightly, and his fingers holding the teacup turned white slightly. Cloud Dance looks at Long Qingxia walking into the challenge arena. The star's eyes are dim and the corners of his mouth raise a sneer. The crowd seems to be restless because of Long Qingxia. It seems that everyone who should have come has come. On the stage, Jin Yuyan looks at Long Qingxia on the stage. Her eyes are slightly surprised. Maybe she didn't expect that Long Qingxia would really come on the stage. The same surprise is not only Jin Yuyan, but also Jin Kongyan. He wanted to stop this farce. Just when he wanted to stop it, he saw Long Qingxia stand up. He looked at the Cloud Dance tasting tea, Li Mao complex. The 2 children's mind why he always guess it? You came up anyway. Jin Yuyan looks at the dragon and smiles. I just don't want my woman to be bothered all the time. Long Qingxia looks at the Cloud Dance, and the evil spirit smiles. but his eyes scan the crowd as if he had not noticed it. Suddenly, he finds that there are many people watching him. Every face seems to have words written on it. We want to kill you, smell speech. Jin Yu speech face slightly a change. Wood element tongue up. Instant sweep to dragon pour evil. Two people fight, but not up and down. After a long time, with a strong impact, the two stepped back. Jin Yu Yin looks at the dragon that looks like Satan on the opposite side, holding the sword in his hand, enduring the trembling and pain brought by the buzzing of the sword, and his eyes are full of consternation. After fighting for so long, she began to lose the upper hand, and her breath was unstable. And he has been calm more than enough to deal with. The breath is not a bit abnormal. It's not long since he played in space last time, but his strength has been above her? She clearly felt that he belonged to Wu Zuan's midterm strength. How could he be above her? Did he hide his strength from the beginning and play with her? I'm not your opponent, but you're meant to be mine. Jin Yu said that with a wave of the long sword. The sword flew away and inserted into the pillar on the side of Long Qingxia's body. The next second, the blue sky suddenly changed color. The smell of darkness is like a poisonous haze, which constantly infects the cloud. In a moment, the whole cloud is dark. Qingyong City is in darkness. All around the challenge arena, people fell. Even Jin Kongyan was no exception, followed by Jin Yuyan. Long Qingxia looked at Jin Yuyan, who fell down on the opposite side. His sword eyebrows wrinkled and his figure danced towards the clouds. In the mid-air, the white figure stagnated. With a dull landing sound, he looked at the purple figure in the distance and fell into a coma. Yunwu looks at the dragon in the distance, her eyes suddenly cold. Zhou Feiyu coma before the last second, Chaoyun Dan said, waiting for us. He knew that Dragon Qingxia knew that this menacing man was for Cloud Dance. Yunwu looks at Zhou Feiyu who is falling down, frowning slightly. She is too familiar with this breath. At the same second when she got up, the black fog sneaked into her nose, and she was in a trance. Suddenly, she saw a shadow slowly appear. And finally she was completely unconscious. The original noisy venue was instantly attacked by darkness. In the twinkling of an eye, the light reappeared, as if the dark attack was just a dream illusion. People gradually wake up, but feel headache. What's the matter? Why does it hurt so much? What happened just now? Are you all right? All of you speak to me, and there is a clamor around the challenge arena again. At this time, Jin Kongyan also woke up, looked at the scene in front of her, pondered for a while, and then put her eyes on Jin Yuyan. I don't know if she found anything. At the moment, Jin Yu is competing with a very thin man who is not tall, wearing a thick blue robe, but the dragon has disappeared. No one seems to pay attention to this point. Obviously, they have forgotten the memory of the dragon. Among the crowd, Zhou Feiyu's sharp eyes were deeply angry. After a few rounds of inspection, he still didn't find the figure of Cloud Dance. The breath around him suddenly dropped to the freezing point. At the moment when they were in a coma, only two people disappeared from the crowd. Cloud Dance and Dragon Pour Evil. He was right. He was from the Beast sect. But they robbed Yunwu for a reason. Why did they take it with the dragon? Suddenly Zhou Feiyu turned and left. Although I don't know why people don't remember about the dragon, but he remembers. He clearly remembers the feeling of the breath. If you find the breath, you will find Yunwu. But he didn't find that after he left. Jin Yuyan looked at his back and showed a very strange smile. Zhou Feiyu followed the breath for a while, and the breath became lighter and lighter. Finally he had no direction to follow. Two fists clenched, a touch of fighting air to split directly a tree in two. Asshole! A roar resounded through the sky. Suddenly, a shadow suddenly appeared in front of his eyes. Zhou Feiyu's sharp eyes narrowed, and the smell of vegetation rose. In an instant he was strong and fierce. My friend, how can you beat people regardless of what happened? Xiao Would side smile, that pair of scarlet eyes, red liquid faintly flow. A touch of silver-white light on the ground, sharp straight hit Xiao Wood. Xiao Mu's figure twisted and dodged a blow, but the trees behind him were smashed to pieces. All of a sudden, sawdust diffuse, dust everywhere, a deep enough gully ferocious appear. Friend, is it too heavy to start? Xiao Mu looked at the ravine, like a jade-like mouth slightly pick. Where is she? Zhou Feiyu roared in a low voice, full of anger in his sharp eyes. Oh, my friend regarded me as a bad man, but I saw your friend taken away. Xiao Mu twisted the dust on his body, and his red eyes were strange. When Zhou Feiyu heard the speech, his sharp eyes narrowed into a seam. At that moment, he felt the breath on him. Now he suddenly found that he didn't have the breath. Did he have the illusion? But there is still a dark smell in the air. It's true that the man must have passed here. He looked at Xiao Mu looking a little worried. Where have you been? Heading east. Xiao Mu pointed to the east direction road. Suddenly, the wind blows, a shadow passes, Zhou Feiyu has disappeared in place. The disease lifted the robe covered by Xiao Mu, and the face like a jade showed no doubt. He looked at the figure leaving, and his red eyes were dim. Suddenly, the direction of the strong wind in the forest changed and surrounded him. As soon as the phantom came out, he chased Zhou Feiyu. My friend, people have long gone away. You can't catch up with them. Xiao Mu follows Zhou Feiyu and reminds him kindly. Who the hell are you? Zhou Feiyu stops abruptly, turns around and roars at Xiao Mu. I'm here to help my friend. If you listen to me, you can save your friend. Xiao Mu's smile is very harmless. Zhou Feiyu congealed Xiao Mu for a long time and said in a low voice, I believe you for the time being. If she has any problems, I'll let you be buried with her. Let's not say that now we can't catch up. Even if we catch up, he is not sure to save Yunwu in that man's hand. Besides, he has no influence in the upper world, so he can only trust this man for a while. This man is too purposeful. He is either an enemy or a friend. If it is the enemy, there should be no need to appear at this time, so he thinks he can trust him for the time being. Since my friend believes me, I will not let him down. My friend will come with me, and we will discuss the plan. Xiao Mu turned around. The breeze in the air suddenly changed its direction and swept him away. Zhou Feiyu was surprised to see that he could control the real wind and make it his own. What's the power? Not thinking much, Zhou Feiyu took a glance behind him, followed Xiao Mu and left. At this time, nothing is important. The important thing is to save Yunwu. Is the night silent, moonlight pouring, as if plated with a layer of silver frost. There was no sound around in the dark, only a steady breath could be heard. A touch of moonlight poured down in the sky, shining on the man, just like a fairyland. Looking at the place where the moonlight came in, it was only as big as a bowl, which made it more desolate and desolate. And the woman who breathed steadily was lying in a psychic mask. The dark haze of the psychic mask was very strange. Suddenly, there was a change in the quiet space, and the woman lying in the space moved. When I opened my eyes, I saw the darkness in my eyes, followed by the weak yellow moonlight. Cloud Dance Willow Eyebrow Micro CU. Exhausted the whole body strength to be able to reluctantly sit up. Star Eye of the focal length gradually gather. A touch of cold panic looming. She tried to use her strength, but found that she could not lift any strength at all. As if her whole body had fallen apart, just like a useless person. The star Mao flits over a silk of danger. Lift Mao a look, finally understood the present situation. Her power has been sealed, people have been imprisoned. In my mind, I suddenly came up with the abnormality of the moment when the martial arts contest was held. The dark cloud was pressing on the top, and all the people were in a coma, including her and Long Qingxia. At the moment of her coma, she seemed to see a strange figure. Is that the man who imprisoned her? Yunwu looks at her spiritual mask and frowns slightly. Although her power is completely suppressed now, she can still feel the powerful spiritual power of the spiritual mask. Even if the power is all there, it can't be broken. The star Mao flits over a dangerous doubt. Where is here? In the quiet space, the sound of the hurricane is more and more clear. Then Cloud Dance saw that under the moonlight above her head, a black shadow suddenly appeared, just like a ghost appeared in front of Cloud Dance. When Yunwu saw the opposite person, the shock of the fundus could not be hidden. It was a man in a black robe with scattered black hair. You can see the face under the moonlight. The most obvious is the pit on the left side of the face, which seems to have been burned by the fire. It's ferocious and shining. And his numenon is actually emitting black mist from the inside out. Yes, the dark haze is emitted from his body. It looks like a fierce ghost traveling in the dark. I'm afraid it's more terrible and gloomy than a fierce ghost. You are the master of the beast gate? Cloud Dance Willow Eyebrow Tiny Pick, if not guess wrong, she is to see this soon. The man didn't answer. Instead, he took a step forward and stared at the necklace around Yunwu's neck for a while. After a while he said, "Give me the holy things of the witch family." Cloud Dance Star Eyes Tiny Am I looked at the necklace on the neck, some doubts, if he wants not already got. Still used to ask with her? Although confused but still had to refuse. I'm afraid this thing can't give you. In the moonlight, when Shangwen's heard the words of Cloud Dance, his face changed obviously. Doesn't he know what the sorcerer's sacred object is? Pondering for a moment, the figure of Shangwen's trembled, and the shadow had swept over the sky. When do you hand over the holy things? Please see me. That voice let a person have a feeling of despair, extremely devoid of people's hearts. Cloud Dance micro-frown half-ring, but finally understand a thing. I'm afraid the necklace around her neck is not what he said. The real thing is that even she doesn't know what it is. Since you see her, shouldn't you ask her for the temple map? Shouldn't we kill her? Why do you have to have a sacred object that you have never heard of? Is the holy thing important to him? Old Bai, can you hear me? Cloud Dance Mind Micromotion. Try to call White Old, although she also know White Old can hear. The probability is almost zero. Can't you hear me? Bai Lao, have you fallen asleep again? What's the matter? Since arriving at the upper boundary, Bai Lao seems to be sleeping all the time. After several times, Yunwu finally gave up. Now all the strength of the whole body has been suppressed, which is equal to the total loss of cultivation. It is estimated that no one can be contacted. Cloud Dance raises mouth to look at the miserable moonlight, the corner of the mouth tears to put on a miserable smile. Hello, equally miserable brother. I don't know how long Qingxia is now. The strength of Shangwen's is really immeasurable. After sealing her accomplishments, she tries to break through the blockade, but finds it useless. If you go on like this, don't you want to stay here all the time? Suddenly, her eyes lifted and her eyes swept out a fine on. How could she forget those little guys in the space? Although she has put those guys into the space, they can come out by themselves when they have nothing to do. Now that she has no accomplishments, can they come out by themselves? Hongling, Stinky, Bai Shuer, Lan Yu, all you can hear, get out of here. Yunwu tries to roar, hoping that her voice will be louder and then spread to the space, but only her own echo can respond to her. These guys, usually don't let them come out, maybe they will come out soon. Now they are allowed to come out, but none of them is visible. They don't clean up. Who's so annoying that you can't sleep at night? Suddenly, in the dark corner, a voice with anger came out, with the silence of the night, especially harsh. The cloud dances, the edge of the eye is swept. There are still people here? Suddenly, not far away, Yunwu found the man. I don't know. I'm scared. Isn't this the wood vine? At the beginning she slipped under her eyes, but now she appears again. Should she say it's fate or evil? The opposite man sat up and looked at Yunwu fiercely. When he touched Yunwu's two-sided face, his face turned pale and pointed to Yunwu. You. I was caught. Cloud Dance to see her stammer, not agile, sad. Simply help him finish. Are you arrested? You are the summoner. The man glared at Yunwu and shook his head in disbelief. The Cloud Dance Star's eyes were dim and said coldly, "Isn't the summoner human? Can't there be a miss?" Man smell speech, obvious Wenjung. Then he nodded clearly. No one knows how deep the master of the beast sect is. Although she is a summoner, her strength has not reached the peak. What are you doing here? Cloud Dance looks at the vine, and a trace of doubt passes through her eyes. Since Shangwen's imprisoned her here, it should be very hidden here. How could he appear here for no reason? I grew up here. How do you think I'm here? Vines have no good spirit of white. Cloud Dance one eye. Words and some impatient. Cloud Dance lips angle fine adjustment, toward Vine pick eyebrow. In this case you should know how to open this thing. She pointed to the power mask that instructed her to worry, and a touch of worry came out between her eyebrows. I don't know. Vine took a look at Lingley Hood and shook her head thoughtfully. Cloud Dance looked slightly cool, cold glanced at the Vine smile way. Even if there is no cultivation, can also carry on the compulsory contract? Vina listen, the body suddenly a stiff, face instant a change, a long time later. It's easy and difficult to open this power mask. Don't talk so much nonsense, say it. The cloud dances and the willow eyebrows are horizontal. This guy is good at selling things. There is no gentleness of a woman at all. The man gave him a white look and muttered. In short, there's no other way but to open Shangwen's Hong for you. Smell speech. Cloud dance I ground a touch of frost emerge. This problem still use him to tell her. In that case, please do one thing. Cloud dance looked at a man. The corner of the mouth raised a smile of gratitude. Looking at Yunwu's smile, with a calculating smile, the man knew there was nothing good, and immediately refused. Don't ask me, I won't promise. It's not up to you to answer or not. The cloud danced across him. The man angrily rubbed Rant's stare cloud dance, but also can't say what, who let her be his natural enemy. Besides, his home is here, but Yunwu's next words made him lose his chin completely. I'll contract you first, you go into the space, those guys find out for me, and then go out together. What? A loud roar came, and the dark and silent night turned. Roar what roar? Cloud dance willow eyebrow micro cu. Eyebrow dyed a trace of displeasure. I advise you don't want to run, contract you contract. At the critical moment of life and death, no errand runner can do it. Those little guys are of great use. But what she didn't expect was that the wood element spirit beast actually grew up here. What on earth is this place? Cloud dance raised mouth to see that bowl mouth so big hole. The forehead indistinctly appears a few white black line. The bottomless cave at the bottom of the gate of beasts. The man does not have the good spirit to stare at the cloud dance. Obviously cannot let go to her to contract his matter. Cloud dance slightly jaw head. Ignore his attitude. Any attitude can let the contract on the line. So it's close to the secret base. Cloud dance tentatively asked a sentence. It's a shortcut. It's a shortcut. The man stares at Yunwu with some doubt, and looks up and down at Yunwu. Make the secret base of Wanwoman a mess, or the witch saint they've been chasing. How can Shangwen's Hong keep you alive? Cloud dance mouth slightly yawn, star eyes emerge a smile. It turns out that the mechanism discovered by Long Qingxie really leads to the sect of 10,000 beasts. It's strange to say that Shangwen's Hong didn't want the temple map or kill her. Instead, she was imprisoned. It's really puzzling. Does it mean that she was imprisoned just to wait for her to tell the whereabouts of the sacred objects of the witch clan? She also wanted to say that except for the necklace around her neck, she had never heard of the holy thing of the sorcerer. She wanted to ask Bai Lao that he had no accomplishments. What a tough road ahead. Did you turn the base upside down by yourself? The man looked at Yunwu as if he was interested. Yunwu actually saw a trace of worship in his arrogant eyes. She felt adored after that cloud dance shook his head. There is another one, that is, the evil man who was with me that day. You go out to help me find him. If he is in danger, you must help me to help him. Just the two of you. He opened his mouth without exaggeration. He's been to the secret base. If it's not for a little guy's help, I'm afraid he can't get out of the secret base anymore. They can make a mess of the secret base by living alone? How is that possible? It's just that the deputy leader is extremely difficult to deal with, isn't it? The man looks at Cloud Dance suspiciously with deep eyes. Does this woman really have the power of the witch saint? After looking at the clouds for a long time, he said, if he is not in danger? If there's no danger, I'll let him go to Nangong Yi, Shangguan and Qi Yi's. When they get together, I'll tell him what I'm doing. The cloud dances slightly to hang the star eye. The shallow show a touch of smile. Although I know that Long Qingxie can guess her situation at the moment, I still hope he can listen to her. It's too dangerous for him to come here alone. Affectation. The man was stunned for a while, and snorted with disdain. Don't be so grouchy, contract. Cloud dance willow eyebrow micro low. A man who comes so much nonsense. Yes, he's not the only one who talks a lot about men, but also the dragon. Yunwu's face was a little dark. Suddenly, Cloud dance mind must. Finger space ring exudes a strange light. Exudes the smell of vegetation. The next second, Yunwu bit his finger and dropped the blood on the light. As the light continued to twist, the last drop of blood was completely absorbed. The man looked at the light and refused at first. Later he didn't know what he thought of. He suddenly absorbed it into his body. This contract is different from the formal one in the past, but the effect is the same. He can accept the equal signing. Well, that's the only way now. Cloud Dance breathed a sigh of relief. If there is no cultivation, the contract can only be settled first. Although the contract is not in a hurry, this guy is moody and uncertain. Maybe he will run away. It's still safe. This is her only hope, although the light is similar to the pale moonlight. Go home. Cloud Dance willow eyebrow micro pick eyebrows toward men. The man looked at Yunwu strangely and disappeared in the same place. Cloud Dance lips slightly a hook. A touch of almost gorgeous smile continued to bloom. After a while, all the little guys came out. Mama, Master, Little Stink, Hongling, Bai Shuer and Lan Yu all appeared, followed by the man just now. Mama. Little Stink cheers and shakes his body, kissing the clouds in a way that only belongs to him. Yunwu looks at the Little Stink, which is more and more close to human shape. And the feeling of being a wet nurse is more and more serious. Stand up for me. Cloud Dance pretends to be a murderous look, staring at the small stinky roar. Small stinky mouth a pie, very aggrieved, touch the way Cloud Dance that want to kill eyes. Extremely reluctantly stand to Blue Yu side. Go out to find Long Qingxia. And then take him to find Nangong Yi and others. Yunwu orders. Master, let's go together. Hongling looked at the Lingli mask that was holding the Cloud Dancing, and her eyes showed a sense of killing. The master is imprisoned. I'm fine here. I have food and drink. You can leave now. Then she looked at the man, eyes full of trust. Take them out. She naturally understood Hongling's mind, but the spirit mask didn't mean that she could leave if she left. Seeing the trust in Yunwu's eyes, the man was slightly stunned. Then disdained to take back his eyes. Instant vegetation breath rise. All the little guys back to the space again. Only in the blink of an eye, they will appear in the spirit mask. Cloud Dance looks at the man. The eye ground a silk frightens to pass by. This guy's ability still really some strange. Was he really willing to let her contract just now? It's strange. Do you have a name? Cloud Dance slightly frown. All adult form. Also can't have a title. Men disdain to pick eyebrows. Name is nothing I don't need. Call it Shiting. Cloud Dance ignored him and said the name she had thought of for a long time. Don't be so opinionated. As soon as Shiting roared, a few sharp eyes swept in, just like a sharp blade. Shiting looked at those guys' gloomy eyes, and the corners of his mouth twitched violently. He muttered something and stopped talking. Suddenly, a strange smell came near. Let's go. The Cloud Dance with a low voice. In an instant, the smell of vegetation around Shiting was lifted, and the sharp warcraft appeared in front of Yunwu in the blink of an eye. The warcraft has a pair of rhinoceros horns, and two tusks are slightly exposed by its mouth. Although it is not very big, it is very delicate and sharp. At first glance, it looks very attractive, especially the eyes, which are sharp, bright and full of expression. Is this the warcraft form of Shiting? At the moment of Cloud Dance meditation, several guys turned into a group of mirage and disappeared in the sky. That's not the speed. In the next second, Shangwen's Hong appeared again, holding a bottle with a dark purple on. The last side of Songyin Castle. On the other side of the quiet land, flowers are blooming all over the land. Willow catkins are full of shade and fragrance. Among the flowers and grass everywhere, there stands a wooden house. Although the wooden house is not luxurious, it is extremely warm. On the bed of the wooden house, there lies a demon man, curious and sleeping. It's not the dragon. Who is it? I said, sooner or later you will belong to me. Jin Yian sits at the head of the bed and looks at the dragon. Her bewitching eyes show a touch of tenderness. Although I know that I can't keep your heart in this way, the person who can keep you. The next second, white figure flash. Say half of the words will be stuck in the throat, unable to say. Jin Yuyan looks at the dragon Qingxia, who suddenly wakes up, and a trace of surprise appears in her eyes. How did he wake up? Long Qingxia's golden eyes darkened and untied the dumb acupoint for her. Who took her away? Jin Yu said with a sarcastic smile. You are so strong, go find it yourself. Suddenly, Jin Yu felt a chill on her neck. Long Qingxia pinches her neck, and her strength keeps increasing. Don't try to push my limits. You can treat women. In the middle of her words, she flew up in the air. Bang. With a touch of figure being thrown away, the table was shattered in an instant. Jin Yu murmured. Her mouth overflowed with blood, and her body was hurt by the table. She could only endure the pain, and could not move. Looking at the evil eyes of the dragon, he was painfully surprised. Only now did she know that he had no good habit of not beating women. Even if he did, he would only treat that woman. Long Qingxia looks at the blood at the corner of her mouth, and her golden eyes droop slightly. Is she hurt? Can you say it now? His hands were covered with black haze, and his golden eyes were bloodthirsty and cold, just like Satan. It was very rare to see the cold air around him. At least Jin Yuyan hasn't seen it. In her eyes, he is evil but not so ferocious, he is cold but not so heartless. Even if I tell you where she is, you alone can't save her. I can only tell you that she won't be in danger for the time being. Jin Yu clearly knew that if he was not reassured he would really kill her, regardless of everything. Smell speech. Long Qing evil all around of icy recede a bit. Play within the palm of the dark haze also disappeared. Where is she now? The gate of beasts. Jin Yu said in pain. Hearing this, Long Qingxia seemed relieved. If she was in the beast gate, she would not be in danger for the time being. He raised his eyes to see the sky, and his golden eyes narrowed slightly. Situlan, time has passed so long, should it come? Long Qingxia unties the acupoints for Jin Yuyan, and then leaves. It's obvious that Jin Yuyan and the 10,000 Beast sect jointly made this matter. Beast gate for Cloud Dance and she for him. Before he went to the challenge arena, he found that there were many followers of the 5-star club in the crowd. He wanted to fish in troubled waters and take him away, right? As for why he was not taken away, it should have something to do with her injuries. The sword eyebrow of Dragon Qingxia is slightly wrinkled. That woman should be dead. The reason why she is still alive is just for this reason. If there is another time, he will not be merciful. Little thing, wait for me. 3 days later, it was in an inn several hundred meters away from the entrance of the upper boundary. Long Qingxia was sitting in the corner by the window, playing with the teacup in his hand. He was absent-minded and looked at the border from time to time, thinking deeply. Haven't you come yet? The sword eyebrow of Dragon Qingxia is slightly wrinkled, and its look is a little complicated. Brother, are you waiting for your lover? A loose voice came with ridicule. Long Qingxia heard. Thin lips slightly hook up, looking back at the man. Long time no see. Situlan smiles and looks around. Junmei says, where's the little dance? I came here in a hurry, because I was worried about Xiaowu day and night. Why didn't I see her? Dragon Qing evil smell speech. The corner of the mouth smile a little light. What, haven't you found her yet? Situlan did the opposite of Long Qingxia, and his eyes narrowed slightly. When is your efficiency so low? I found it. It's only in the gate of beasts. The dragon's evil golden eyes are indifferent, and the smile at the corner of his mouth outlines the danger. The gate of beasts? Situlan's face was startled when he heard the words. He looked at Long Qingxia's eyes, and then he seemed to understand. Do you mean this is the sect of 10,000 beasts? The dragon tilts its head slightly. Isn't that little dance very dangerous now? Situlan's eyes were worried. When he was in the lower world, the Beast Gate had been chasing Xiaowu. He thought it was the clan of the Beast Gate. Now it's in the hands of the real clan. It's half-life if he doesn't die. That's why I'm in a hurry to ask you to come. Did all her people come? Before he came to Shangjia, he made an agreement with Situlan. Let Situlan look at Zhou Feiyu first, and arrange Long Shugua for him. He knew that Zhou Feiyu would definitely come to the upper boundary. It was only a matter of time, so he told Situlan that if Zhou Feiyu left, he would bring up the killer corps and elite troops with him. After all, in the upper world they need more power. 10 of them are downstairs. The rest of them are too big. I let them into the city. When can I save Xiaowu? Situlan Juan's eyes were full of worry. and it was obvious that he couldn't sit still. Wait a minute. Long Qingxia took a sip of the teacup, slightly sipped his thin lips, and glanced out of the window as if he were waiting for someone. Situlan nodded slightly, and knew that there must be something else for Long Qingxia. Downstairs, two handsome figures walked into the inn. One is wearing white gauze, indifferent and quiet, and the other is unrestrained and romantic. Nangong Yi and Shengguan look at the 10 people who are eating in the opposite direction, and their eyes pass a change. The 10 people were dressed in coarse cloth robes. They were very simple, and their breath was very pure. They looked like villagers nearby. Maybe only Nangong Yi and Shengguan could know how terrible they were. Bai Qingshui's indifferent eyes glanced at them, but they were also a little surprised. Perhaps they didn't expect to meet two big acquaintances when they first came to Shangjia. Nangong Yi took back his eyes on Bai Qingshui, glanced at the inn, then looked at Shengguan and winked at him. Shengguan nodded slightly. As if they didn't know Bai Qingshui, they went straight to the second floor. In the same second that Nangong Yi takes back his eyes, Bai Qingshui also takes back his eyes and continues to eat. Who are they? The other 9 people looked at the second man walking to the second floor. Friend of the host. Bai Qingshui is indifferent. Smell speech, people looking at their eyes a little surprised, corners of the mouth twitch for a while. Xing Xing's Bao continues to pick rice. On the quiet second floor, 2 different footsteps are approaching. It's time to come. Situlan looks at Nangong Yi and Shengguan who are walking towards him. He picks his eyebrows at the dragon and shows a warm smile. Nangong Yi and Shengguan take a look at Situlan at the same time, and then they sit at their tables. Any plans? Nangong Yi looks at Dragon Qingxia indifferently, with a cool voice. In his eyes, he gave Yunwu to him because he didn't take care of her. If he couldn't take care of her, he would follow her all his life, take care of her and protect her. Long Qingxia's golden eyes droop slightly, and a faint and dangerous smile passes by the corner of his lips. It seems that he has seen through Nangong Yi's thoughts. Internal cooperation and external cooperation. Destroy the beast gate. Dragon Qing evil word by word. The smile of the corner of the mouth some bloodthirsty. Inside and outside? You mean little 5? Shengguan Junmei was slightly surprised. Who else? Long Qingxia said plainly. People look at each other. Eyes are also incredible color. So this is the bridge section that you have set up for a long time? The upper official Mao color is deep, still some can't believe. Long Qingxia put down his teacup, stood up and went to the window. There was a trace of softness in his golden eyes and said, I know that the beast gate will appear. May she not take precautions? Sita glanced at Long Qingxia and sighed. Xiao Wu's mind is heavy, but it's not so much behind you as a successful man. All 3 of them know the idea, and both of them must be involved. These 2 black-hearted guys want to upset the beast gate. I'm afraid the beast gate is really noisy this time. Did he inform you to come? Situlan glanced at the 2 officials. Nangong Yi shook his head and said, Someone gave us a hint. But everyone is good. Since it's Xiao Wu's plan, she'll be fine. She's the one who cherishes her life. Sita looked at Nangong Yi, heard the words, slightly raised his mouth and nodded. But they didn't find that the smile of Long Qingxi's lips was slightly bitter at the moment. He has an idea, but his attention definitely does not include Yunwu being arrested. It's just that he can't change what the little thing wants to do. It's really hard to be worried about her safety while performing a full set of plays. Fortunately, all those who should have come, and the plan has been carried out smoothly. What's Xiao Wu's plan? Situlan stood up and looked at the dragon's evil way. Long Qingxia turned around, thin lips slightly hook. There are super 5 elements protection around the beast sect. If you can't find the 5 elements, you can't go in at all, but there is one exception. Master of the Beast Gate. Situ Lanjuan's eyebrows are slightly picked. Long Qingxia nodded. Yunwu got his blood. I went to have a try. It's okay. 3 people smell speech, look at each other, look a little surprised. With Xiao Wu's current strength, she can never be his opponent. How did she do it? A look of admiration came from the bottom of Shengguan's eyes. How beautiful this woman is. Long Qingxia's golden eyes drooped slightly, and the corners of his lips were full of laughter, thanks to the speed of the little potato Warcraft. If Cloud Dance didn't let little Warcraft steal his token at the moment of coma, how could it hurt him? However, he was a little worried that little Warcraft hurt him, and he was unconscious. If that's the case, it's really troublesome. When Shangguan chats with Situlan, Nangongyi goes to Long Qingxia. Under the white veil, the plain eyes seem to have some complicated emotions. Why don't you stop her from taking risks? Long Qingxia sighed. Who can stop her when she makes a decision? Nangong Yijuan eyebrows slightly wrinkled. Plain eyes seem to have some helplessness, he said. Right, Cloud Dance to make a decision, they only try their best to help. How sure are you this time? Nangongyi looks at the dragon, and his words are calm and cool. Do you really think she's going to destroy the Beast Gate? Longqing evil thin lips micro hook, squint at him one eye. Smell speech. The South Palace is tiny to droop the eyelid. The indifferent eye and flit past a wipe of abnormality. Seemed to have already had the answer. Knowing that she would fail. How could she make fun of so many people's lives? It should be costly to do so. Nangongyi looked at the distance, holding the teacup finger slightly tight. If we don't make a fuss about the Beast Gate, this kind of pursuit will never stop. It will be much easier to break the claws and teeth of the Beast Gate. Dragon Qing evil sword eyebrow slightly low, and then turned to go downstairs. Although Yunwu didn't tell anyone why she suddenly attacked the Beast Gate, he could understand her pains. The biggest force under the Beast Gate is the Thunder Gate, and the influence of Thunder Gate in the upper world is self-evident. Just look at this martial arts competition. Although there are not many experts, there are many hidden ones. One day, no one knows how many people will be able to work for the gate. Once the gate exists, there will be fatal dangers everywhere. Therefore, when they can't fully base themselves on the upper boundary, they can only remove the claws and teeth of the 10,000 beasts first. If they are only pursued by the 10,000 beasts, they will be much easier to deal with. But it's not easy to deal with the Thunder Gate. When dealing with the Thunder Gate, the people of the Beast Gate will arrive in time. Therefore, when the elite troops and killer regiment deal with the Thunder Gate, the task of holding down the Beast Gate is theirs. And the Cloud Dance is a bomb in the heart of the Beast Gate, which makes them unable to prevent. After the meal, the four of them joined the elite troops with the Killer Corps. You all understand the situation. Ling Xiantian, you take the elite troops to attack the Thunder Gate and use all the skills you can use. Long Qingxia looks at Ling Xuan's insipid way. Don't worry about me. Make Xiande tiny nod. Cold eye ground flits over a silk definitely. By Qingshui, you take the Killer Corps to sneak into the Thunder Gate. As for the specific battle, you should discuss with Ling Xiantian himself. Whitewater also slightly jaw-head cold way. Rest assured, you must ensure the safety of the master. Dragon Qing evil toward him slightly jaw-head. Then look at the crowd. If you can make your master happy, we'll have a fight. You're back, you can rest assured to give it to us. These words also use you to say, small 5 is their master. Desperately is of course necessary. The Shangguan glanced at Longqingxi speechless. He didn't know why. When he heard that Longqingxi was giving orders there, he didn't feel energetic. Dragon Qing evil golden eyes slightly down, just a smile. Outline of the corner of the mouth has a trace of danger. If Yunwu was there, she would understand what was behind his smile. You go and get ready and wait for our signal. Long Qingxia looks at Bai Qingshui and Ling Xiantiandao. They nodded and hesitated a little. They seemed to want to say something, but they didn't say it at last. They turned around and left with their team. Long Qingxia looks at the two people who want to talk and stop, and the corners of his mouth are full of evil spirits. My woman, I will protect myself. Make Xiande white clear water smell speech. The footstep tiny stop, look at each other, show a touch of relieved smile, disappear in the distance. The 4 words of his woman changed the look of the 3 people behind him. I didn't find out before that when the 3 princes were still so numb. I really don't know how Xiaowu could stand you. Does Xiaowu love this one? Situlan looks at Long Qingxia and teases him impolitely. Long Qingxia Chimua smile. Smile spread danger. See his smile. Situlan back spine schwa cool. No so many years. His smile he is too familiar with. I'm kidding. I'm not serious. Situlan patted Long Qingxia on the shoulder, smiling unnaturally. Long Qingxia twisted his robe at will, and lifted his eyes lazily. What did I say? Situlan's mouth twitched. This guy. What's next? Nangongyi opened his mouth, and some of his cool voice seemed to be impatient. Without waiting for Long Qingxia to speak, several people felt the abnormality behind them. At the same time, looking back, they could not catch the shadow. In the blink of an eye, the shadow 100 meters away from them had already stood in front of them. Are they? Shiting looks at Hongling and breathes. He looks tired. Yes. Blue Yu cold swept a few people one eye. Affirmation of nod. Several people looked at the sudden appearance of a few guys. Eyes are swept out a trace of doubt. Isn't this the contract beast of Cloud Dance? Why are you here? And this guy, who is he? The master asked us to come to you and let you go to save her. Bai Shuer looks at Long Qingxia with a trace of anxiety in her eyes. Where is she now? The dragon's evil golden eyes narrowed slightly, and there was a trace of edge at the bottom of the eyes. The master's cultivation has been sealed, and now he is imprisoned. Hurry to save the master, or I will eat you. Hongling opened his mouth and yelled at several people. Smell speech. In a few people's eyes many a touch of complexity. Do it. Nangongyi takes a look at Long Qingxi. It seems that there is no room for discussion in his words. The sword eyebrow of Dragon Qingxia is slightly wrinkled, and the undercurrent is surging in the golden eyes. It seems that he is thinking about something. What else do you think? I know too much about their style of doing things. If they don't kill Xiao Wu, it means that Xiao Wu's situation is more dangerous. Shengguan's eyes were cold, and he was worried. It was rare for him to be serious. Make up your mind. If you delay a little longer, the little dance will be more dangerous. Situlan followed the road. He knew that Long Qingxia must have his own plan, but the Shengguan was right. The 10,000 Beast sect wanted to kill Xiao Wu all the time, but now they have imprisoned her. Shouldn't they cut down the roots? How can they leave behind the disaster? Unless she's worth living. The more dangerous. Long Qingxia's sword eyebrows wrinkled slightly, and Jin Mao thought for a moment. He raised his eyes and said, Go ahead Shengguan, Nangongyi and Situlan. You three go to Wanhuimen base and stop Shengguan from supporting them. Although the secret base was made a mess, the destruction only caused a little damage to the base. There are too many things they don't know about in the base. It's more certain that Shengguan will follow. Where are all three of us going? Situ Longjuan's eyebrows are slightly wrinkled, and his eyes are a little confused. What does this guy think? Are you going to save Xiao Wu alone? Even if you save Xiao Wu, can you stop the whole family of beasts? I'll go with you. Nangongyi Shengguan spoke at the same time. Long Qingxia glanced at the three people, with a bloodthirsty smile passing at the bottom of his eyes. I don't have the habit of letting others save my women. But, forget it, let him go. He's more secretive and quick on his own. Situlan interrupts Shengguan. He knows that there must be something behind Long Qingxia. He can't make fun of Xiao Wu's life. When Shengguan heard the speech, he said nothing more. Nangongyi didn't answer all the time, but he could feel his indifference. They don't refute because they know that Dragon's evil spirit cares more about Cloud Dance. If there's something wrong with her, you're not qualified. Before he left, Nangongyi said this to Longqing. His tone was flat and cold. He couldn't hear any change, but he had a weight that people couldn't ignore and forget. Looking at the figure of the three people leaving, the corner of Long Qingxia's mouth lifted a cruel and bloodthirsty smile. Bring this to her. Long Qingxia gives the heart-shaped pendant to Hongling. With it, he can find her at any time. Won't you come with us? Bai Shuer frowns slightly and doubts every move of Long Qingxia. Shouldn't he be most worried about his master? Why is he so calm? Shouldn't he rush to save his master? Why not? Tell her to keep her alive and at the same time, I'll do whatever I have to do. The white shadow passed and disappeared in the distance. Several guys looked at each other, looked at the pendant, full of doubts. Go back first. The man loves your master so much that he won't let her do anything. Shiting looked at a few tangled guys, some irritable. One by one is what IQ. Not your master? I don't know if I care. If I talk too much, I'll beat you. Go back by yourself. Stink braised Warcraft. At the beginning of dawn, the hazy sky was white. In the quiet and dark cave, the moonlight has retreated, and a pale shadow has been reflected into the dark cave. Yunwu looks at the purple bottle in Shangguanzhang's hand. He has a bad feeling in his heart, but the corner of his mouth is still smiling. It looks like a good thing. It's really good for you. All of a sudden, Shangguanzhang laughed strangely, and the air around him became darker. In the deep of Cloud Dance's eyes, passing a trace of worry, what's in the bottle? The next second, a touch of dark power will control her. She struggled a few times, but found that it can't move, star eyes looking at the purple bottle slowly close to her eyes, deep cold. Do you want her to drink? If not, the mouth cannot be controlled by a force to pry open. The next moment, a cold liquid into the mouth, all the way across the throat, and finally stay in the abdomen. The power that held her down disappeared. Cough. Cloud Dance's choke big cough to rise. Lift mouth to glaring at go up official grave. What do you give me to drink? Shangguanzhang took a look at the purple bottle in his hand, and his strange smile reappeared. At the beginning, your mother also drank this. I don't know what reaction you will have after drinking it. Yunwu was surprised. Her mother? Where is she now? Don't worry. I'll arrange your meeting soon. With the black breath shaking, the purple bottle was gone. After Shangguanzhang gave her a cold look, her figure disappeared. Yunwu looks at the bottom of the cave where the silence is restored again. Suddenly she is in a trance. The feeling of uneasiness in her heart is more and more obvious. How can she feel a little confused? Is it something in that bottle that works? There was a buzz in her mind, which was like someone grinding a brand iron in her head. Yunwu suddenly felt that her head was going to be blown open by the sound, and the whirling of the hum made her unable to resist. The scene in front of her was blurred, and all the scenes were red like blood. The light is red, the stone wall is red, close your eyes, the darkness is red, everything is red. She defends Buddha to be driven mad by that scarlet everything. The suffocation helplessness of that moment makes her on the verge of madness. What's the drink for her? The voice of pain resounded again. The voice of hoarse tearing roar. Yunwu holds her head in both hands, twisted painfully on the ground, and twisted the willow eyebrows together. At the moment, she has no way to drive away the pain. Suddenly, a black figure came quietly and landed on the outside of the spirit mask. Looking at the Cloud Dance's painful appearance, the man's eyes were extremely cold. However, just at this time, his hand brushed, a touch of dark and strange breath through the spirit mask, instantly surrounded the clouds. It seems that the power is relieving the pain for Yunwu, and Yunwu also feels the power from the outside world, trying to endure the pain and absorb the power. After a long time, the scarlet color in Yunwu's eyes gradually faded, and the buzzing sound that made her crazy also disappeared. Although she tried hard to keep awake, she still fainted. The shadow watched Cloud Dance get better, and then stopped. At this time, Yunwu's face, which was pale and bloodless, was even more white and frightening, and a touch of bright red liquid overflowed from the tight corners of his mouth. Try to let that power awaken the bite in your body. With a ghostly voice, the figure has disappeared in the cave, as if it had never appeared. In a half-coma, Yunwu heard that sentence, and she began to do as the man said, leading the power in her body to Dantianshu, trying to melt it into the power of magic bite. Daughter, here you are at last. Who is it? Daughter, are you calling her? Yunwu frowned slightly, her eyelashes trembled, as if she could not wake up. Suddenly, she saw a vague figure. Just called her as that person, right? Who are you? She could not see the man's face clearly, but she could see it was a woman. Is it her mother? Daughter, when you grow up, I know it will come one day. Huang Yingying looks at the Cloud Dance, just like the voice of a warbler, which is euphemistic and beautiful, clear and thorough, as if it is the best voice in the world. Cloud Dance slightly frowned, surprised. You are a touch of ghost? Huang Yingying nodded. My existence is to wait for you. I know that the Beast Gate will find you and will not let you go. So when you were tortured by this thing, You left a ghost? Yunwu was a little surprised. What a deep mind. Huang Yingying sighed slightly. Her voice was clear and euphemistic, just like a zither. It's soul water. After being tortured for 3 days, it will be controlled. Unless she dies, she will never be able to recover her sense and consciousness. It's like the soul has been taken away, so it's called soul water. Then you're Numenon. The cloud dances in surprise, and the desire for words stops. Don't worry, daughter. My body has fallen asleep. He can't wake me up. Huang Yingying smiles, which is the most beautiful smile that Cloud Dance has ever seen, just like peach blossom blooming. At that moment, the sight seemed clear. That's why he wants to control me to get the news of the sorcerer's holy things. If Shengwenzhong wants to control her, she can only find this reason to explain. Is the sacred object of the sorcerer really a big threat to him? You want him to take her and control her? That's why I didn't ask the others to tell you about the holy things. What's the threat of the holy things to the Beast Gate? Yunwu is very confused, and seems to have a vague answer in his mind. It's the only thing that can destroy the Beast Gate and Shengwenzhong. Just another thing is needed for the holy thing to exert its power. Yunwu found that the ghost seemed to be more and more blurred. It was not that her vision was blurred, but that the ghost was blurring and seemed to be disappearing. I'm waiting for you just to help you out of control. My time is almost up. I'll help you recover your accomplishments first. Remember, don't fight with the Beast Gate. You are not their opponent now. The next second, a yellow light appeared, just like the golden sun, which immediately surrounded Yunwu's body. The light continuously penetrated into Yunwu's skin, then to the bone, and finally to the dantian. At this time, there seemed to be some power in her body. Cloud Dance star eyes ami, the corners of the mouth burst out a smile. It's the power of magic bite. Just now that person delivers to her strength, on the contrary awakened the evil bite again. Her smile of enchantment, Mao Guangyi Shan, awaken of just in time. Cloud Dance uses magic power to absorb the yellow light faster. With the yellow light absorbed, she feels that her power is almost restored. Remember what I said. You must live well. The shadow was so shallow that the outline could not be seen at all. Where is the holy thing? What else is needed to make the holy things work? Don't hurry to disappear. I haven't finished my question. Find me. Half a word fell into the cloud, and the ghost completely disappeared in her mind. Cloud Dance slightly frowned. Find your what? Well. Yunwu opened her eyes and was about to get up. Her headache made her cry. Lift eyes to look at the top of the head of the light. Cloud Dance lips slightly hook. During the day? Then she looked around as if she were looking for something, but in the end she found nothing. Who was the shadow who helped her before? At that time, her consciousness was vague, and she could not feel the breath of the man at all. She could only vaguely see a blood-red shadow. The only thing that could distinguish him from a man was his words. Now in retrospect, the voice sounds familiar. Who is he? Why help her? Yunwu tried to recall the sound in his memory, but because of the hum just now, his head seemed to explode when he thought about it, so he had to put it down for a while. Think of just that wipe ghost. Cloud Dance lips cape then involuntarily hook up. Shengwenzhong 1000 calculate 10,000 also didn't expect her mother would put a wipe ghost in that bottle. If it wasn't for this ghost, what might have happened to her at this time? This mother could have saved her life. But then again, just that shadow gave her strength also awakened the evil bite. It seems that no matter what, today she is doomed to die. I don't know what happened to Long Qingxia. Even if she is not the opponent of the Beast Gate, it is imperative to destroy the Thunder Gate. I don't know if Long Qingxia has found Nangong Yishengwen and Qi Yi's. I hope he can use Qi Yi's power to deal with the Peihong Gate, and the rest of them will hold down the people of the Beast Gate. According to the forces of Qi Yi Se, it's almost the same to deal with Peihong men, isn't it? Now it's hard to deal with Peihong men, but she can't be chased by people every day. It's just the Beast Gate, but now it's the peeping eyes of the Peihong Gate, and tens of thousands of experts in the upper world. She's also worried. When she expected that the Beast Gate would attack her, the plan appeared. However, Qianswan and Wanswan failed a little. She didn't expect that Shengwenzhong would capture her, and she didn't expect that Shangwenshong would bring her to the family of beasts. Fortunately, she blocked up and got the blood from Shangwenshong. I just don't know if the blood vessel doesn't work. Can dragon pour evil come in? If not, she can't get out. Yunwu looked up at the big hole of the bowl and sighed. As for the result, it depends on whether God helps her or the beast gate. But now she has to pretend that she hasn't recovered her cultivation, wait for the news of dragon's evil, and pretend to be controlled when necessary. All these need acting skills. Suddenly, the entrance of the cave was dark, and a touch of wind and shadow suddenly came to the outside of the spirit mask. Mama. Little Stink danced cheerfully on Sheeting's back, and Fat Duda's paws waved to the clouds. Have you found anyone? Cloud Dance helplessly looked at the smell of enthusiasm still, and then swept to other people. Several guys nodded at the same time. Lan Yu took out the heart-shaped jade pendant from his arms and hung it in his hand. Xiang Yun said, Master, he asked me to give it to you. As soon as Yunwu saw the jade pendant, he knew who he was in Lan Yu's mouth. He raised his eyes and said, Where did he go? Lan Yu shakes his head and says coldly, I don't know. He just says that you can do whatever you want. He'll make a fuss. Everything has him. After hearing the words, the corners of Cloud Dance's lips are slightly pursed. Now that he said that, she didn't have to worry about anything. She looked up and said, Is there any way to open this power mask? Shiting glanced at Yunwu. His eyes were contemptuous. Can't you open it yourself? This spiritual mask was condensed by Shangwenshong with his own strength. Who can be Shangwenshong's opponent here? Cloud Dance gives a cold hum and stands up to look at the power hood. After a week, he takes Lan Yu back into the space. The next second, Lan Yu appears in the power hood. Give me the pendant. Although I don't know what Yunwu will do, Lan Yu still gives Yunwu the pendant. Cloud Dance looks down at the pendant with a warm smile on her lips. The pendant has saved her life in the jungle. Now it should be able to get rid of the shackles of the power mask for her, right? It should be the same meaning of dragon's evil. The next second, Yunwu's palm raised a touch of purple fighting spirit, which gradually penetrated into the heart-shaped pendant. After accepting the purple fighting spirit, the pendant suddenly changed color. Just like in the jungle, a powerful dark force constantly condenses in the pendant. If you are not careful, you will lose control. Cloud Dance looks at the huge power condensed in the small pendant, and a trace of surprise passes in her eyes. Last time, she only knew that the pendant saved her life, but she didn't know where the power in the pendant came from. Now she can see it clearly. That power, unexpectedly, is dragon to pour evil, and dragon are as like as two peas. Willow eyebrow micro wrinkle, star eyes extremely complex. This fool, do anything to hide from her, everything like a person to bear. This haze power should be 1/3 of his internal strength, right? In this way, has his cultivation weakened? Even if it doesn't weaken, its strength will not be as good as before. Cloud Dance heart like 5 flavors miscellaneous bottle general, looking at the pendant tightly held in the palm of the hand, fingers are slightly white. No wonder he didn't come with these guys. No wonder his strength hasn't been improved. Slightly closed star eyes. Cloud Dance take a deep breath, try to calm their complex mood. Now is not the time to think about these. That stupid man needs her. Suddenly, the power in the pendant is inspired by the fighting spirit, and a dark light fills the narrow space instantly, which is already dark, just like the night. Yunwu suddenly opens her eyes, takes the 5 guys into the space, burns the flame in her palm, and lets her power merge with the dark power to break the power mask together. Pa! There's a crack in the psychic mask. Cloud Dance's eyes leaped with joy. Another hit! Bang! With a loud noise, the earth moved and the rocks rolled in. The Cloud dances in the eye to brush over a silk surprised. Twinkling of an eye is fleeting. Then the corner of the mouth a yang, purple phantom instantly disappeared in the sky of the hole. Looking back, under the body of the stone cave gravel everywhere, still constantly collapse. Almost. That was a defeat. Cloud Dance watching with micro-frown. The strength of Shangwenshong is really unfathomable. She will Shiting release space in different way. Let this home become a memory. Shiting looked at his home which had been living for so long, turned into ruins in an instant. He was a little surprised in his eyes, and then glared at the cloud dance. He really showed no mercy to other people's memories. Although he was a little angry, it was obvious that Shangwen's had set up the power mask herself. She actually one-shot to break? It seems that she really has the strength to fight with Shangwen's. I haven't asked you. How can you live at the foot of the Beast Gate? Yunwu looks at Shiting, and doubts emerge at the bottom of his eyes. What do you mean I live at its feet? I came first, okay? Shiting was a little angry and said it as if he was the one who made a fuss. This place belongs to him before. Smell speech. Cloud dance eye ground flits over a touch of meditation. So say you are looking at 10,000 beast door to establish? No, I was in cultivation at that time. The Westing mouth corner slightly draws. So when you wake up, the Beast Gate will exist? Cloud dance slightly pick eyebrows. Shiting wanted to say something, but he didn't say it. Finally he nodded his head. How much do you know about the destruction of the Witch Clan? Cloud dance eyes tiny am I, all things in a mess. The emergence of Shiting seems to give her a clue. Isn't everyone aware that the witches are in civil strife and colluding with the Beast Gate to overthrow the witches? Shiting frowned slightly and looked at the deep eyes of Cloud Dance. In the deepest part of the eyes he was hesitant. Cloud Dance mouth slightly yawn. Seems to see through he wants to play Tai Chi with her. He's hiding things that ordinary people don't know. Even things that she doesn't know. Why must the Beast Gate destroy the Witch Clan? Don't tell me you don't know. Cloud Dance indifferent vision swept Westung one eye. The corner of the mouth smile some danger. Shiting absolutely knew what she didn't know. This guy was a spirit beast of wood. He was transformed into a human form so quickly. Either he had been practicing for a long time, or he had absorbed external forces. Should it be the latter, she guessed? He should also be a beneficiary in the war between Wanwoman and Wuzu. The Westing Mao light one zheng, then White Cloud Dance one eye. You ask so many things about the Wu clan, why? It doesn't seem to have much to do with you, does it? Because I am a witch saint, is that enough? The Cloud dances toward the Westung, picking eyebrows slightly. As her voice fell, Shiting fell into complete rigidity. After a long time, he pointed to Yunwu and moved his mouth a few times. He was surprised that he didn't hold a word. You are you a witch saint? Cloud Dance slightly jawhead. Lips aside a smile. This simple reason for violence seems to work. Can you say it now? Shi Tungwei pondered, his eyes changed a little. And finally he had a serious attitude towards Cloud Dance. Leave here first. I'm not going to leave like this yet. Cloud Dance glanced at Shiting, and the corner of his mouth was cold. The taste of the soul water is still lingering in her heart. If she doesn't toss about in the Beast Gate, she feels sorry for herself. What's important is that everyone should be ready for her side. Are you really going to fight with the Beast Gate? Shiting looks serious and stares at Yunwu with some doubts. He believes that she is not such a reckless person. Yunwu nodded, but let him fall into silence after a long time. Don't you think about the people you love and the people who love you? Shiting's forehead is wrinkled tightly. Now he's fighting with the Beast Gate. It's like beating a stone with an egg. He will die and lose. It's for their sake that we have to do it. The Cloud dances and laughs, and the smile is cold. Your goal is not the Beast Gate? Shiting seemed to understand for a moment, and his eyes were shocked. I said that, didn't I? Yunwu looks at him with an eyebrow. Shiting's face turned black, and there was a little worry in the bottom of his eyes. Who do you want to deal with? Thundergate. You can't imagine the power of the Thundergate. Even if you hold down the Beast Gate, your current power is not their opponent at all. Shiting is worried and tries to stop Cloud Dance. Do you think that the Gate of Beasts can keep the gate free? Can Pei Hongmen itself be idle? There are people chasing you everywhere. Can you be happy? Can you sleep well? Cloud Dance looks at him. Her eyes are clear and frosty. She is chased by such a big force before she can stand firm in the upper world. If she is in a hurry, she can only work hard with him. Just like this competition, Jin Yian informed one human that she would appear. So one human designed a bridge to catch her. She had only two choices, either to run or to stay and wait to be caught. Oh, what an ironic choice. She can only scold you thousands of times in her heart. So she designed a third choice for herself, to destroy the Peihong Gate, which is regarded as a beast by the people in the upper world. The people in the upper world have only heard of it, but have not seen it. Although its own power is big, it can't stir up other forces in the upper world. This is much easier to deal with and much fairer. She wants to let 10,000 Beast Gate know. Even if it is to strike a stone with an egg, she also wants to leave a touch of fishy smell on his stone. A touch of the smell that can't be washed away makes him wary every time he smells it. After hearing her words, Shiting thought for a long time and didn't speak. She's right. It's true that the biggest obstacle at present is the Thunder Gate. You really have a good identity. Shiting looks at Yunwu sarcastically. A contract beast satirizes the master here. I'm tired of skewing you. Go back to the space. On the boundless top of the cloud sky, there is a vast expanse everywhere. Jinling flies in the air and lands on a mountain under the command of Yunwu. Yunwu stands on the top of a mountain, looking at the black spots in the distance, and drawing a bloodthirsty arc on his lips. Is that it? This clan of 10,000 beasts, a place floating on the top of the cloud. Her location is almost several kilometers away from the family of 10,000 beasts. It seems that the family of 10,000 beasts is as big as a house, but she finally knows why 5 elements are necessary to enter the family of 10,000 beasts. Around the black spot, there are 5 kinds of magical lights. Those lights are surrounded by dark forces, which are obviously controlled. Red, white, silver, purple, gold, 5 colors, 5 element colors. She had a premonition that there must be a huge secret hidden in the family of 10,000 beasts. Otherwise, why did Shengwenzhong only allow him to go in and out by himself and not allow others to come out? It's helpless to say that she has been in Shangjia for such a long time. It seems that she has been among the 2 forces, the Beast Gate and the 5-Star Club, and has no chance to contact other forces. Can't there be only 2 forces in the upper world, the Beast Gate and the 5-Star Club? It's a deal. If she can retreat completely this time, she must accept the influence of several oxen and forks, and then send the Beast Gate and the 5 stars to hell. The hell of eternal reincarnation. As soon as the purple figure swept away, it sped away in the air. The shadow in the distance was getting closer and bigger. After a while, Yunwu came to the place where the 5 elements protected the Beast Gate. Cloud Dance looked at the Beast Gate in front of her, slightly surprised. Is this the black spot just now? Is that exaggeration? Its length nest in the beautiful white clouds, cannot see the edge, the width of a full 100 meters, and the height is as high as the modern 3-story building. The shape of the house doesn't look very scientific. Yunwu takes out the heart-shaped pendant, the palm power surging, and the heart-shaped pendant instantly emits light. At this moment, the jade pendant on Long Qingxia's body has sensed the change. Dragon Qingxia, a few kilometers away from the Beast Gate, looks at the change of the pendant, thin lips and slight hooks. Has it started? And he is still standing in place, not in a hurry, seems to be waiting for something. In this clan of the Beast Gate, suddenly a strong wind came in the air, and raised the cloud-dancing skirt. The skirt was in the air, accidentally touched the 5 elements, and instantly turned into foam. Cloud Dance looked at the skirt place, sensed that it was torn off a piece of robe. Star Eyes swept out a touch of dangerous breath. The spirit power of these 5 elements is so weird. If you try hard, you will be ground into pork. I don't know if the blood of Shengwenzhong can open the 5 elements. Yunwu takes out a jade bottle from his arms, ponders for a while, turns his palm, and puts the jade bottle in the protective cover of the 5 elements. Pa! The jade bottle turned into powder in an instant. Cloud Dance looked at this scene. The fundus of his eyes was startled. In the same second, a drop of blood in the jade bottle was scattered among the 5 elements. Yunwu looked at the strange scene and frowned slightly. The shield formed by the 5 elements actually opened a hole. The cut was just where the blood was dripping. Yunwu had no time to think about it. She jumped into the gap. Just 1 second after she entered the gap was restored to her original clothes. She looked back at one eye, mouth slightly yawn. Dragon Qing Evil should also be able to come in, right? Yunwu glances at the beast sect. only to find that there is no one guarding the outside of the sect. Then she gives a cold smile. Yes, who can come in with this protective force? But she didn't know that a pair of eyes in the dark were staring at her, and knew her every move like the back of her hand. The purple phantom passed by and disappeared in the same place. When Yunwu sneaked into the family of Wanwoman, the dark breath of Wanwoman became more and more dignified. Looking around, the whole Wanwoman seemed to be much darker because of this breath. It's really unexpected that such a dark place should fly above the white clouds. However, this kind of protection and terrain and environment, if you want to attack, it is absolutely impossible. Unless you can have something to defend and break the air. Quang quang. In the cloud dance all the way into suddenly, a burst of extremely fast and manic Ming sound came out. Cloud dance flashed into a dark corner almost instantaneously. The interior of the beast gate was much quieter than imagined, and suddenly a sound sounded, as if it had been magnified countless times. This kind of strange feeling, cloud dance felt all over the body. Sweat hair were thrilled. Heart scolded, what thing so frightening? Quang quang. The sound came back. Cloud dance slightly frowns. The eye bottom sweeps a trace of doubt. How to listen to seemed to be the sound of the chain impact. At this moment, a few people in black robes came across from Yunwu. For a moment, Yunwu felt that there were more people inside the beast gate. It seems that it has something to do with the voice just now. At this time, the three black-robed people walking across the street, their eyebrows slightly lowered, seemed to be talking about something. Cloud dance tries to hide its own breath and figure. Is the president back? Here we are. We are in the hall now. Let's get there quickly. It's said that the president has brought some treasures to the headmaster this time. Let's go to see the treasures. Baby, what good treasure can there be in the lower world? Who knows, but it must be a good thing that the president can bring back. Also, three people a word IA language, walked by the cloud dance side. Unexpectedly no one found the existence of cloud dance. This is really a little strange. You know, if you can be a member of the family of beasts, it's nothing to be afraid of. Cloud dance frowned, eyes swept around, because just now, she actually felt in the dark, as if something was staring at her. But for a second, the strange feeling disappeared again. When she swept around, she didn't find anything unusual. Is it her illusion? No, she never felt wrong. So someone was staring at her? Or has she been watched since she entered here? If so, it would be a little scary. But she entered the family of 10,000 beasts for a while, and there was no other movement from the person who was staring at her secretly, which only showed that she was safe for the time being. Unexpectedly, she would be rude. The purpose of her visit is to make trouble, which makes the people of all animals tremble. Of course, what interests her at this time is naturally what the three black-robed people just said, the treasure brought back by the sect master. Cloud dance figure flash, with the direction of the three people, lurking away. And she didn't know, just when she turned her head and looked around, the person in the dark was stunned. Unexpectedly she was so alert. Through that corridor, into a spacious pattern of internal, is the conference hall. At this point, in the conference hall, in addition to Shangguanzhong, there are several white-bearded elders and some black-robed people in the conference hall. Judging from their clothes and manners, it seems that they also have a great position in the family of beasts. One of them, a black-robed man with a fierce face and a dark smell, was standing in the middle of the hall. But at this time, the most noticeable thing is not the man in black robe, but the huge red fire dragon in the huge transparent cover beside the man in black robe. The original majestic dragon's limbs were separately handcuffed by the black iron, while the dragon's head was tightly pressed on the ground by a huge iron ball, forcing it to kneel on the ground. In addition, countless small iron balls and chains are tied to the dragon's tail. Whenever it wants to struggle angrily, it makes a loud bang of the chain, and the ball can want to break away from the Millennium Black Iron. With the suppression of the power of the transparent cover, no matter how it struggles, are in vain. Roar. The roar of the dragon was weak, but it was still very angry. The black-robed man standing next to the transparent cover heard the angry dragon roar, and his angry face raised a smile. Then he looked up at the Shangguanzhong sitting on the high position. Suzerain, all the things that the lower world is going to do have been done. By the way, the 8th Prince of the Dragon has been brought back. In addition to allowing us to have new blood, we can just use the 8th Prince of the Dragon to trade with the Dragon Clan. It turns out that this black-robed man is Lei Li, the president of the previous 3 black-robed people. As the president of the management side of the 10,000 Beast sect, his status is naturally not low. When Shangguanzhong heard the words, a strange radiance appeared on the half of his pockmarked face. It turned out that you brought it back. I'll leave it to you to deal with it. Don't kill it. Lei Li laughed and nodded respectfully. Yes, Suzerain. Just as he was about to leave, Lei Li suddenly remembered something and looked up at the Shangguanzhong. Yes, Lord, I forgot to report one thing. What's the matter? When dealing with the Cloud family in the lower boundary, one of his subordinates killed the Cloud Lingyi and seriously injured the old man of the Cloud family. The body of Cloud Lingyi didn't come back and was thrown to the Wanku cliff. He just brought the old man back. What should we do? According to his investigation, it seems that what Yunwu cares about is the old man of the Cloud family. To threaten one is enough. Yin Lingyi was so ungrateful that he ended it directly. Of course, he still needs to be more tactful in front of the patriarch. When Shangguanzhong heard the words, his face didn't change much. In his eyes, those people in the lower world are just like ants, and they are not afraid at all. As for the Cloud family, it doesn't matter whether it exists or not. I've caught the people who are dancing in the clouds. In the future, you can handle such trifles by yourself. Shangguanzhong looked at the Lei Li and said something low. And his words naturally let the presence of several old men and Lei Li are alung. Got it. Why didn't they get the wind? But seeing the Shangguanzhong, the old man and Lei Li who were in a daze at the scene soon recovered. Their patriarch came out in person. The effect was really frightening. Yes. Then I'll do it right away. Lili Layden nodded respectfully, then brushed his hand, shrunk the transparent cover, put it in his ring, and turned away. But did not expect this scene, all of the hidden in the door that beam on the top of the figure to see in the eyes. When Lei Li retreated, Shangguanzhong suddenly looked in the direction of the door and frowned slightly. His mental strength suddenly toward the door, but did not feel the slightest difference. Is he oversensitive? At this time, outside the hall, a dark shadow stood in the dark corner. The red eyes just glanced at the position of the beam. After a silent sigh, the shadow turned and left. That's all he can do. Through the long corridor, into the back of the case, surrounded by black iron walls. Because I was in this sect, I didn't see many black-robed people walking along the way. It is estimated that the number of people who can enter this sect is much less than those in those branches. However, as soon as he stepped into the scope of the iron wall, Lei Li suddenly stopped. Without looking back, the voice full of bitterness and coolness rang out. It's time to show your face after following me for so long. Hidden in the boundary of the cloud, after hearing the sound, the eye passed a haze of color. But also did not hide. After removing the border, the purple figure suddenly appeared behind him. After leaving the hall, Yunwu felt that the person staring at her secretly didn't follow up. Without that person's help, she would be found sooner or later. However, she came in to make trouble, so there was no need to hide. However, what she never thought was that the people of the Beast Gate actually destroyed the Cloud family, killed Yunlingyi, and arrested her grandfather and Red Fire Dragon. She can endure anything and care nothing, but only the people she cares about and her relatives. She can never endure. You. When Lei Li turns his head to see the cloud dance, he is obviously stunned on his angry face. It seems that I didn't expect that he was followed by such a beautiful girl of 18 or 19 years old. Just when see her that pair of purple pupil mouth, the fundus of the eye is angry for a flash suddenly. Cloud dance. How can you escape from the captivity of the patriarch? Did you hand it in yourself? Or shall I pick it up myself? Yunwu's voice is extremely cold. Lei Li smelled speech, stretched out his hand to touch the ring that was holding the red fire dragon, but the corner of his mouth opened a touch of radiance. I didn't expect that you girl's tone was quite crazy. Want to take it in person? I'm afraid you won't have this chance. Is it? In Yunwu's eyes looking at Layli, there was a cold feeling like looking at the dead. Let's try today to see if I have this chance. Almost as soon as her voice fell, several rays of light flashed out of Yunwu. Summoner? When Layli saw the 5 figures flash out, a look of surprise flashed in his eyes. Although for the news of Cloud Dance, the whole people of the Beast Gate have heard about it and know that she is a summoner, but the feeling of seeing it with one's own eyes is totally different from that of hearing it. Unexpectedly, she is not only a summoner, but also a multi-department summoner. I'm not surprised. It's absolutely fake. Master. Mama. Master. Hongling, Xiaolukaku, Lanyu, Bakshuir, Shiting and 5 figures immediately stand beside Yunwu. Hongling, stink. Don't you say that it's not fun to keep you in the space recently? Today, let you enjoy playing and destroy as much as you can. Hongling and Xiaoqiu, together, the destructive power of that mischief is no less than that of a later period of Wuzong. Really okay, we're going to. As soon as Yunwu's words fell, Xiaoqiu immediately jumped and directly sat on the ferocious Hongling. With a smile he drove Hongling to play. Lanyu, Baishuer and Shiting, choose their own directions. I want you to bring back Ben to me. The voice of Cloud Dance is extremely cold. Yes. After the tacit understanding of the 3 answers, they suddenly turned into 3 lights and disappeared in 3 directions. The only one left is Yunwu. As soon as the surprise in Lei Li's heart passed, he naturally became alert, and his sword flashed out. You sent all your contract beasts away. Do you think you can be my enemy with the strength of your middle period of Wuzong? Although the words say like this, but Lei Li looks at in the eyes of Cloud Dance, it is to pass a touch of deep greed. This Cloud Dance is the status of a witch saint plus a summoner. If you can capture and train it for your own use, how can it help? Thinking of this, Lei Li couldn't help feeling hot. Yunwu, you should know that with your strength, you are not my opponent at the top of Wuzong. Besides, your grandfather is still in my hands. If you can be loyal to me, I will not treat you and your grandfather badly. Not to mention my grandfather, Yunwu's anger can be suppressed. But now the bottom of my heart, that anger, as if can no longer hide. That pair of extremely cold purple pupils, as if in an instant were covered with red silk, dyed with a strange scarlet. Yes, is that right? 2 words elongated slowly spit out. As soon as he turned his hand over, a black air came out of the air, and a big sword appeared in Yunwu's hand. At the same time, it brought a strange howling of the sword. Who? The sword, which was attacked by the fire of death, brought up an inexplicable chill in the moment of whistling. Lei Li saw her big knife frowned, and her face changed slightly. She retreated a little subconsciously. What's going on? This Cloud Dance is clearly the strength of the middle period of Wuzong. At this moment, he felt a dark breath of terror from her, and let him feel a force of oppression from the bottom of his heart. At this time, the Cloud Dance, the original purple pupil, turned into a scarlet and strange color, full of a dark air. She knew that the power at this time was the power of the second awakening. At this time, Yunwu didn't bother to talk with him. He saw that the sword in his hand suddenly fell away, dyed with extreme darkness. When Lei Li felt the power, his face changed. That power is. Before he finished his stuttering, he immediately aroused all his strength and stood in the way of the enemy. Ka. A crisp sound of debris rang out. Lei Li Tong's eyes widened. He looked at the sword in his hand in disbelief. It was like a picture of broken glass. It's made of black iron, and its effect is just like the fossil of Warcraft that has been imprisoned for thousands of years. Was it smashed? Brush. The sword was awe-inspiring. As Lei Li's face changed, his figure retreated and flashed away, but he was left with a deep blood hole. How can you have the power of magic bite? Staring at the eyes of Cloud Dance, I was shocked. What is the meaning of the power of evil bite? It's impossible for the people of the Beast Gate not to know. The Cloud dances, the corner of the mouth is bloodthirsty and cold, on the big knife in hand. A mass of black fog diffuses and flashes. He didn't answer his question but still said coldly, "Give me the ring. You give me the power of the evil bite, and I'll give you what you want." Layli's original horror was soon replaced by the greedy gloom. A girl, even if she has the power of evil bite, can't play much effect. Otherwise, she won't have the strength of the middle period of Wuzong. However, if it comes to him, he can definitely play a full explosive force. And at that time, why should he just be a small president? In the face of strength and power temptation, a man will not have much resistance. What's more, in front of such a big temptation, at the end of Lei Li's speech, the strength of Wu Zongfeng was completely lifted in an instant. He wrapped himself in the moment. His hand turned and a sword condensed with Yuan Li was in his hand. This time, Yunwu obviously felt his breath, and the pressure increased a few points. Yunwu sneers at the bottom of his heart. He wants the magic power on her. He's a bit of a dreamer. Even Shangwen's didn't want to deprive her of the evil power in her body, but just wanted to control her with soul water. However, Cloud Dance didn't open her mouth, so she stared at him quietly with her scarlet eyes. Little girl, don't test my patience, otherwise, not only you will suffer, but also your grandfather will suffer. Lei Li's cold eyes were fierce, and the fierce air of Wuzong's peak rose. Yunwu could feel his threatening oppression. His breath was fluctuating, and his steps slowly stepped back. And her small action, in the eyes of Lei Li, naturally thought that Yunwu was afraid of him. Some charity-like mouth. As long as you give me the power of evil bite, in submission to me, I will not only release your grandfather, but also save your life, and guarantee you endless glory and wealth in the future. If you want power, the gate of Beast Gate will be open for you at any time. Poof! Yunwu couldn't help laughing. Surrender to him? Save her life? Splendor? This man's head is so funny. Or did he really see himself as Jesus in the world? What are you laughing at? Lei Li's face was angry and frowned. Cloud Dance raised her eyes, and the corner of her mouth was a very cold radiance, while the scarlet eyes were stained with a touch of irony. I was thinking that the dog of Shangwen's barked like a female dog. It was very harsh. Well, since you're shameless, I'll see what you can do to be crazy in front of me. Lei Li became angry, his breath suddenly rose, and his figure flashed strangely towards Yunwu. The peak strength of Wuzong is quite strong in the eyes of ordinary people. Even in the air, you can feel the pressure. However, Yunwu gave a very cold sneer. As soon as he moved his feet, his body was like a ghost brush. In the blink of an eye, he avoided the breath. Just you little girl, you want to avoid my attack. When Yunwu dodges his attack, Lei Li sneers and hums coldly. He takes advantage of the attack in his hand. The clouds are cold, but the corners of the mouth are open. Originally dodging figure, actually in the Lei Li pursuit attack, but not dodging the frontal attack. At that moment, Guwu Dageo was suddenly enveloped by an extremely dark atmosphere. And the space elements were also infected with Yunwu at that moment. Brush. The sound of piercing the air. Lei Li looked at the sword in his hand and directly pierced Yunwu's body. Although a pity flashed through his eyes, it was more violent and comfortable. He is the youngest president of the clan. Who dares to call him a dog? Although it's a pity that you can't get the support of Magic Bite, if you can't use it for yourself, you can't keep it. However, in the next second, Lei Li's eyes suddenly widened. Puff! A flesh and blood pop suddenly sounded in the quiet air. Originally, the figure of his sword disappeared in the air in a twist. On the contrary, in front of his eyes, the beautiful face suddenly appeared. And that ancient martial arts big knife, inset that abdomen without vigilance, straight into the back. Blood. Soon it's all over the place. The smell of blood gradually spread out in the air. Who said that the peak of Wuzong could not be killed in the middle period of Wuzong? The scarlet eyes of the cloud seem scarlet when they touch the smell of blood. The voice, word by word cold, gently brushed the thunder's ear. Lei Li Tong's eyes widened, staring at the Cloud Dance, and his anger seemed to be more and more intense, with reluctance and fear. However, he is not willing but cannot, because at the moment when Guwu dagger was inserted into his abdomen, the dark evil breath surrounding Guwu dagger directly intruded into his body, and directly corroded his internal organs. The pain of corrosion directly empties his power. With the burning of the dead fire, even if he doesn't die for a while, it's only a matter of time. Even if he is not reconciled, he can only stare at Cloud Dance to show his unwillingness. Wuzongpeak, he is Wuzongpeak. So defeated in the hands of a teenage girl. And what moves are not out, was a knife to solve. Where does this make him famous? Layli wants to struggle, wants to fight, but the Cloud Dance moves faster. The body shape retreats one by one, the big knife brush, in the hand pulls back forcefully. At the same time, the big knife accurately cuts directly toward Layli's wrist with the ring. Under a scream, the dark black ring with blood has been sucked into Yunwu's hands. Mental force to explore, want to see the ring in addition to the red dragon. Her grandfather is also imprisoned in the ring. But Yunwu's mental power has just been explored, but it is suddenly rebounded by a strange breath in the ring. A stabbing pain suddenly in her mind. Cloud Dance can't help gnashing one's teeth, trying to endure the tingling and dizziness. Damn it. What's going on? It's a special contract ring. Different storage rings, the owner of the ring is still alive, and your strength is not the peak of Wuzong, so your mental power can't enter the ring. Don't force yourself to enter, it will cause your mental power to backfire. At this time, the dark voice of Hayo in the Chaos Hall suddenly sounded in Yunwu's mind. The contract? Cloud Dance and hear the words of black pride in the brain. Can't help but frown, but not much tangled. In this world, there are too many things she doesn't know. Although this ring looks no different from the ring of storage space, Hayo will say that. Naturally, it can't be wrong. It turns out that if there is a master in this contract, it can't be detected. Just kill the master. Next second, the scarlet eyes of Yunwu fell on the ground, pressing Lei Tian's body with his cut hand and abdomen. I wanted you to try to wait for death, but I can't detect the contract when you are alive, so I have to give you a ride. The voice said coldly and heartlessly. Once the Cloud Dance hand turns, the dark breath of the ancient martial arts sword is once again attacked. Layli pupil Mawa shrink. The face of the fierce spirit has to lose blood excessively of pale. You don't force a person too much. Too much pressure? The Cloud dances, the corners of the mouth are slightly raised. But the smile can't reach the eyes? Why didn't you feel that you were deceiving others too much when you destroyed the Cloud family? Moreover, he said he killed Yunlingi. Although, she did not feel much about Yunlingi at the beginning, even disgusted. However, the father-daughter relationship is that blood is thicker than water, which exists in the blood. That is her father. The anger at the bottom of my heart still exists even now. Layli smells speech. Pale face suddenly turned to Een ruthless, strong support body corrosion pain. Stood up from the ground, at the same time, rich murderous gas instantly from his body. Well, it seems that you don't care about Yunqi's life. In that case, even if I die, I will take you to bury me. Layli's violent voice fell, and his figure disappeared in the same place in an instant. Layli knows that under the condition that his body is being eroded by the power of evil bite, it's impossible for him to face the enemy head-on. He can only play the hand of sneak attack from behind. Cloud Dance eyes a cold. Mental power in an instant gushed from the body, suddenly toward the diffuse and open in all directions. Brush. The sharp sword suddenly flashed out, and a sword roared in the air. The sword had been stabbed at Yunwu's back. The speed is absolutely too fast to cover your ears, and it has disappeared into Yunwu's body. Layli looked at the scene. Pale face raised a smile of proud and angry. He's Layli, the oldest president of the Beast sect. Even if he dies, it's absolutely impossible to let his opponent go. However, the next moment, Layli suddenly couldn't help staring. How possible? I saw that Layli's sneak attack and stabbing action was still maintained, but the Cloud Dance, which was originally penetrated by the long sword, disappeared in a twist. Shadow. No, it's impossible. He clearly felt the real penetration. How could it be the afterimage? Even if he was injured, but he is still very confident in his ability to deal with girls who are 2 levels weaker than himself. How can not fail? However, the figure disappeared in front of us was clearly placed in front of us. Layli was in a state of shock. Looking at the shadow that had disappeared in front of his eyes, he couldn't react for a moment. Since you don't want my life, I'll take it. The cold voice sounded like a ghost. At that moment, a cold stabbing pain came from Layli's neck. Layli's pupil shrinks and he swings his sword towards the sound source. But when Layli wields his sword, the cloud figure turns into a remnant shadow. The strange speed is really frightening. However, Layli poof. Blood, such as a column of general spray. Originally just a bloodstain on the neck, suddenly Canthus opened a blood hole. Blood gushed out. Even if Layli wanted to cover his neck, he didn't have time. At the moment of his death, his eyes were still wide open with a touch of horror. Bang! The tall body finally fell to the ground. At this time, the cloud dance just flashed out from the space elements. With cold eyes glancing at the corpse on the ground, without any emotion. This just took out just that Neji mental power detection and go. Inside it's a huge space. Under the detection of mental power, only the red fire dragon pressed by the black iron was seen in the transparent cover, and there was no Cloud Chi. Cloud Dance can't help but frown, but also try to release the red fire dragon from the transparent cover. But she found that the spirit can enter, but there is no way to move the things inside. How can Hayo release the red fire dragon? It's very easy to be the master of Neji. To be the master of the ring? However, what you should think about now is not the dragon, but the coming Shangguanzhong. Shangguanzhong? The cloud dance of smell speech is one lung. But soon, she felt the smell of fast approaching from a certain direction. Girl, I have to tell you something. Even in my heyday, I'm not sure I can win this Shangguanzhong. Your strength is still far behind. You need to think about it clearly. This period of time, although Black Ao has been in a state of silence, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't know the current situation. With her strength and power, it's still a long way to go if she wants to fight with the Beast Gate. Even in the heyday of Hayo, there was no way to win Shangguanzhong. Cloud Dance cannot help a sign, frown up. That Shangguanzhong's strength is really unfathomable, but she has never seen through the strength of this black pride, let alone his heyday. He can't even win this Shangguanzhong? What level of strength has Shangguanzhong reached? However, the reason why Hayo said this to her was that Yunwu naturally recognized it. He is to let her do what she can, her strength is not an opponent now. So there is no need to hit the hard, the loss is still her own. If she did, she would be able to escape immediately. As the saying goes, she is not afraid of no firewood. However, when she learned that her grandfather was arrested, she had to save him even if she didn't have to. Otherwise, she can't guarantee that her grandfather will live to the future. With the way of 10,000 beasts, the cloud dance feels that the breath is getting closer and closer. The space elements are shrouded in an instant, and the boundary is also covered on the body. I want to hide the rising breath as much as possible. But at this time, suddenly, a strange smell came from behind her. As soon as Yunwu's face changed, Guwu's sword suddenly flew out and attacked the air behind him. Hey my friend, it's me. Don't get excited. Be careful with the knife. An innocent voice suddenly rang out. And the big knife in Cloud Dance's hand, unexpectedly uncanny from the side of that figure, slanted past. Xiaomu's red eyes hidden under the black robe, with a trace of innocence, stare at the cloud dance. However, at this time, so strange power has been shrouded in the two people. At that moment, Yunwu's breath completely disappeared between heaven and earth. Not to mention Shangguanzhong, even if it is the god, it is hard to detect it. Cloud Dance slightly narrowed her eyes, staring at the black robe shrouded Xiaomu. There was an undercurrent in the bottom of her eyes. This breath, it's him. When she entered the family of 10,000 beasts, he was the one who had been following her secretly. Originally, Yunwu was not sure, but as soon as he got close, the strange smell on him was so unique that it was hard for Yunwu to be uncertain. However, without waiting for Yunwu to speak again, Xiaomu suddenly stretched out his hand and made a shush to her. The next second, several black-robe figures suddenly swept from the distance. Shangguanzhong is the leader, followed by several white-haired elders. Lord, look, that's Chairman Lei. A touch of astonishment rang out in an old voice. When he saw Lei Lizzie, who was wiped on the ground, his face sank slightly. Then one by one strong breaths suddenly spread around. Seems to be looking for clues about the killer. But a few strong detection breath, back and forth from the cloud dance, and Xiaomu body over several times. have not been investigated any movement. If there is no Xiaowu's breath to cover up, Yunwu hides his own breath. It is estimated that he has been detected for a long time. Suzerain, there is no breath left. It seems that the person who made the move is very powerful, but how can outsiders enter the suzerain? This must be thoroughly investigated. Another old man opened his mouth in a low voice. Yes, the entrance and exit of our 10,000 Beast sect are always hidden and regular. If there is an outsider entering, we really need to thoroughly investigate. The elder with white hair on the right side has a dignified face. The existence of 10,000 Beast sect is not just the existence of 10,000 Beast sect headquarters. If it's really entered by outsiders, it's really serious. Shangwen's gloomy eyes glanced at the silent lily on the ground, and his eyes finally fell on his chopped wrist. Soon, his pupil was obviously narrowed, and the black haze on his body seemed to be a bit thicker. It's her. Who is it? Seeing that the patriarch spewed out 2 words for no reason, the 3 old men on the scene all had doubts in their eyes. However, if the patriarch said those 2 words, it means that the patriarch already knows who the person is. Suzerain, do you want to send someone here? Bang bang. However, before the old man finished what he said, suddenly, several explosions came from the far right. Not for a while. Boom. The sound of fire and thunder came from the other side. Boom. At the same time, in several other places, there was also the sound of explosion and the sound of security report. It seems that all the news came from all directions at once. What's the matter? What happened? The 3 old men frowned when they heard the news. They were about to call someone to ask what happened. There was no need for them to open their mouths. And soon the black-robed bodyguard came from several directions. Lord Elder, it's not good. There's a fire warcraft invading. It's attacking the herbal hall. Suzerain, the Wu Hall in the south has been attacked by a strange wind system object, and is spreading to the east hall. Lord, the west hall was attacked by a man who used ice to attack. Suzerain, Gownan Hall has also been attacked by people who used the wooden attack. Boom. At the same time when the 4 sides came to report, suddenly a shaking sound of bombing came from the air. Looking up, I saw a few figures standing high in the air in the distance. One attack after another directly attacked the outer protective cover, causing a loud noise. Suzerain, someone is attacking. One after another, with the sound of bombing. It seems that they want to join in the fun, and the sound comes from all directions. Several old men's faces were a little ugly for a moment, but Shangwen's strange face with half-covered black hair still kept its indifference. She even sent it to her home. Let her know whose territory it is. The voice of gloomy cool, very calm general rang out. Immediately, the figure of Shangwen's swept away. Several old men looked at each other. The next second, the corners of their mouths seemed to have a smile arc. Let's go and have a look. In the twinkling of an eye, several figures disappeared in the same place. The cloud dance hidden in Xiaomu's strange breath locked his brow tightly. It's not so easy to deal with this beast sect because of its different distribution. There are too many hidden things that you can't imagine. Let's leave now. Xiaomu suddenly opened his mouth. Leaving? Cloud Dance can't help looking at Xiaomu, but there is an undercurrent in the bottom of the eye. Since you can enter the family of beasts quietly, you must know a lot of things. If you are a friend, can you ask you one thing? Xiaomu's red eyes under the black robe stared at the Cloud Dance for a long time, then nodded. Say it. Help me save my grandfather. Even if you can't save him, please keep him safe. She still can't understand the origin and strength of Xiaomu, but she always felt that Xiaomu must have that ability. My friend, your request is very difficult. Xiaomu seemed to frown under his black robe, but he soon sighed again. However, you should admit that I'm a friend, so I can't let you down. Okay, I'll try my best, but there's one thing I have to tell you. It's okay for me to leave here, but if I take a mortal to leave, I can't help it. It means that he can only guarantee Yunqi's safety. In fact, this is enough. As long as Yunqi is safe, she will be able to rescue him sooner or later. My friend, according to what I promised you last time, you helped me destroy the beast gate in the south, and I'll give you the dragon tornado fragments in hand, although later forget it. This time, I'll take it as a gift for my friend. Here it is, Xiaomu said, throwing a piece of broken black iron to the cloud dance. Cloud dance along, but still quickly catch. As soon as she caught the black iron in her hand, the tornado in the chaos hall trembled obviously. Immediately, she felt a heat flow coming directly from her palm and into the tornado in the hall of chaos. The other corner of the tornado seems to have been repaired, and a lot of the information seems to be more perfect, as if, with some magical atmosphere. However, Cloud Dance did not have time to feel. After throwing the fragments of the tornado to Yunwu, Xiaomu's body flashed strangely and disappeared in a corner. Cloud Dance takes back the line of sight, feels the dark iron which has been voided in the hand, and there is an undercurrent in the bottom of the eye. Perhaps, this time really some anxious entered the 10,000 beast gate this clan to come. However, there is no way to regret what she has done. What's more, her destination this time is the Gate of Thunderbolt. Boom. In the distance suddenly came a hit, like what collision attacks sound. It's Hongling. They stink. After sensing the breath, Yunwu didn't hesitate. Her body suddenly jumped up in the air, and quickly went in which direction. The 100 Grass Hall has been destroyed and half incomplete, and the smoke is billowing everywhere. But at this time, Hongling, who had recovered the huge and ferocious body, was facing the Shangguanzhong with the big petal canthus of its tusks. Let it go, or I will eat you. But Shangguanzhong seems to turn a deaf ear. His strange eyes stare at the little stink that is more and more like a human figure in his hands. The corners of his mouth are slightly raised. The hybrid of Phoenix? What hybrid? For Warcraft, the least favorite word is which one? Although little stink is still young, some things are born to feel the meaning of the words. In a moment, the sharp teeth of the small mouth cracked, and the claws waved. You are a hybrid, I'll bite you to death. With a roar, he bared his teeth and gnawed at the hand that held him. Deep into the skin blood flow. But at that moment, little smelly face suddenly changed, almost in an instant to loosen the teeth. Ah, it stinks. The disgusting smell of the stench directly flows into the whole mouth of the little stench. And it also carries a force of erosion, which makes the little stench's face turn white instantly. Shangguanzhong had no feeling for the wound on his hand. Just a few seconds later, the dark red wound healed completely. Now that you're here, come out. Suddenly, Shangguanzhong raised his eyes and looked at a corner. I didn't expect you to have healing power. The cloud dance walks out from the corner, and the cold eyes look at the Shangguanzhong without any evasion. To tell you the truth, seeing the healing power of Shangguanzhong's wound, Yunwu fell to the ground and was shocked. You know, Stinky is not a normal Warcraft. The wounds it bit out were all corroded by strong fire elements. What's more, at the beginning, it also sucked 1/3 of the original fire in her body, and the fire elements it carried could be of different levels. But Shangguanzhong didn't feel anything. The wound healed in a few seconds. I'm afraid the healing power is not as fast as that of the dragon. I didn't expect that you could resist the soul water and break free from my imprisonment. Shangguanzhong stares at Yunwu, but he can see a trace of unhappiness and gloom from his gloomy eyes. The 3 old men behind Shangguanzhong were surprised when they heard the words. Soul water? Can this cloud dance resist soul water? No, you know, even these old men can't resist the power of soul water. What's more, when her mother wanted to resist, she finally let herself fall into a coma and couldn't wake up. However, the cloud dance seemed like nothing happened, and sneaked into our camp. What kind of monster is Cloud Dance? Master. As soon as Hongling saw the cloud dance, she called happily. The little stink that Shangguanzhong held in his hand was also an excited cry. Mama! However, Cloud Dance did not answer, but the heart read a move, fire contract ring flash. At that moment, the little stink that Shangguanzhong seized suddenly turned into a red light and disappeared in Shangguanzhong's hands. Feeling empty in hand, Shangguanzhong's brow suddenly wrinkled. Master, this ugly monster is so hateful. Kill him. Hongling bears its big petals, sharp tusks and straight molars. It's as if there are clouds dancing around, and the confidence has hardened. But Yunwu raised her hand to stop Hongling from speaking. Instead, she looked at Shangguancong. This Shangguancong is too calm, which makes Yunwu feel flustered. You sent people to destroy our Cloud family? Cloud Dance looked at the Shangguancong. Voices very cold-mouth asked. That tone is like a normal inquiry. The corner of Shangguancong's mouth raised slightly, with a touch of gloom. There are very few people who can question me face to face. I can't imagine that you are quite like your mother and have courage. Is it? The cloud dances and the corner of the mouth rises coldly. But the next second, when I turned my hand, the ancient sword suddenly flew out of the air, and the dark breath in the air seemed to be deliberately released. The breath of the devil bite. The three old men could not help but stare at Yunwu in surprise. Why do you have the smell of evil bite? Are you not a witch? One of the old men stared at Yunwu in disbelief. It seems that from a witch people, I can feel the smell of evil bite, as if it was a shocking thing. However, for Cloud Dance, she doesn't feel much about it, whether it's sorcery or magic bite. She only cares about what she cares about. Give my mother back. Maybe I can think about this in exchange for some magic bite. Cloud Dance stares at Shangguancong, as if talking about a business. Shangguancong smells speech. That gloomy face but suddenly smile deepened a few minutes. Exchange? In my beast gate, there has never been such a word. You are not as smart as your mother. At the end of the speech, the smile of Shangguancong suddenly sank. The black fog all over his body suddenly rose, his body moved, and he went straight to the clouds. Yunwu seemed to have expected his action. He moved his foot and stepped back 2 steps. The ancient martial arts sword attacked and dyed the dark atmosphere, and cut away. Brush! The sound of a sharp knife cutting through the air. But the next moment, Yunwu's face changed. Be careful. In the distance, before a voice fell, a picture changed in front of me. The figure of the black robe, like a ghost, appeared in front of Yunwu. The cold hand, dyed with a layer of dark fog, came straight to Yunwu. The movement looked as if it had slowed down. However, in fact, it is too fast to be caught by surprise. As soon as Cloud Dance's face changed, it suddenly jumped up the back mountain, and covered with space elements. Hiss. The sound of clothes being cut and torn by sharp tools. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.